Hey, what's up? 486 Acer, how's it going, man? You were first. Hey, what's up, Mad Scientist? How's it going, man? Good to see you guys. Gonna be getting some crazy weather. So, hopefully that doesn't knock out the power. Hey, what's up from the heart? How's it going? So we're gonna finish the interview today. I'll try to leave some room to talk, but we have a bunch of storms coming in. I don't know if that's gonna affect the power or not. Christian Eaton, what's up, man? Bloxburg with Vegas, how's it going, bro? And then I'll be going on Chris Harris's show, Safemoon After Dark tonight, to talk about some things. Yeah, so I'm not sure how that's gonna go. Ali Podbro, good to see you stream. Hey, good morning, Christian. How's it going? What's up, Thomas? Michigan's been having some nasty weather. Yeah, dude, it's been crazy weather. Like tornadoes have been. It's tornado season, especially like right in Texas, Oklahoma, above Oklahoma. I meant all good. Damn, yes, last night, damn rain turned my rigs off. Oh, okay, yeah, yeah, crazy weather. Um, all right, that's good enough. One is the loneliest now. Also, you guys can, as usual, come into the stage. If you guys want to, you come into my Discord. I'm going to post the link. You just click on roles. And after you click on roles, at the bottom right here, you click on the rocket ship. I mean, I guess you could click these too. That might, and this is supposed to give you access by clicking that rocket ship to be in the event stage, and then you guys can come to the event stage and I can let people up. Yeah, and I just gotta look for your little hand. You raise your hand and you get to come up. It sucks that all this one side there's no defense to fight the FUD from the Safemoon side. Long live Safemoon Army and God bless our captain. How are you, CC? I'm doing good, man. I am doing great. I will probably become the enemy of the Safemoon maxis because I just, I'm like you guys. I don't just be like, oh yeah, I'm not gonna look at that. Which is weird because like I don't care if you believe in it. Like, why do you care if I want to question it? You know what I mean? That's so weird to me. Like, why do you care what I do? But maybe there's something I'm missing. All right, we're about to start the call, and we're going to start a couple minutes before where we left off. I don't know why I have such a dumb song stuck in my head. So yeah, I'll be on Chris Harris's show tonight to talk about Surge and Mark and my channel. He doesn't like the content I'm doing on my channel, so I guess we're going to talk about that. Let me get this ad out of the way. You rock. Thanks, Crypto Sensei. Sorry. Keep it real, CC, the only YouTuber I'm watching these days. Yeah, I'm actually friends with like all the other YouTubers, for the most part. I'm cool with all of them. I don't have any hate towards them. We got you, buddy. Was a long time holder, but got out in February of this year just because I had other opportunities. Discord link. Thank you. That was the one last thing I needed to do. Let me do that real fast. I knew I was forgetting something. Thank you. World of pure imagination. Okay, I'm going to pin the link. And as long as the storms don't knock out the power, then, yeah, of course, people are welcome to come up and say whatever you want. Whatever you want to say, we can have a discussion. This guy. Okay. All right, I think we're ready. Let me just talk to you guys for 1 second before we start this. They are crazy. I completely agree with you. Thanks for bringing out the truth. Well, you know, the thing is like, I don't know the truth. I just know that it looks really bad. I'm not a blockchain expert. I'm not a crypto expert. I'm just some guy who got into crypto last year and started covering it on YouTube. I just want to know, right? If John is clean, then I'll be posting like videos proving that he's clean. I'll post that evidence. I'll show it. And if he's not, I'll do that as well. But because they're not telling us, because they don't tell us, we have to search their wallets. We have to look. We have to figure out how does John get millions of dollars? And did he get it from us? Did he get it from what was supposed to go to us? Or did he do it his own way? And whatever it is should be provable on the blockchain, right? So I just want to know. I just want to know if John's clean or not. And if John's clean, then yeah, like I said, I'll cover that, and I'll go back to making math videos on how great things could be if the exchange comes out. All right, let's go ahead and get into this. I'm gonna back it up just a little bit.
He wants to own what they do, and if he doesn't like it, he can keep the IP. So they'd always back out.
Well, look,
I think that it's not like he's actively trying to do this. It's probably like a suggestion from a lawyer, like somebody he knows. But it's not good business practice. He should have known that it would spike any of those deals. Because we could have had this stuff done ages ago. It's part of the reason, yet again, why I left.
So again, like, as tempting as it is to believe that
when
millions of tethered for your market making account for the purposes of liquidity, I actually pulled it. Let me try to think of, what was I talking about? I was talking about something with Caroni. Damn it. What was I just saying about Caroni? One question I have. So if I go to Bitmart and I ask them, hey, is it true you guys bought this amount of Safemoon from these guys? Are they going to say yes?
From Safemoon? Yeah, they should. I mean, I don't know if they're going to say yes to you.
Over the counter?
Like, they're under contract with Caroni.
Uh-huh. I just can't get over this part about 5% will be returned to developers to be added back to the liquidity pool for Safemoon tokens. That's not saying the market maker. That's Safemoon 1. It says will be added back to the liquidity pool for Safemoon tokens. That is not the same thing as added to their market maker account. You know?
Yeah, because then all they'd have to do is transfer it directly into the market making.
Right, but
it's already on their platform. It's not on like a interbank transfer. Because for them, it's just a withdrawal.
So wait a second. So you guys were getting paid millions of tethered for your market making account for the purposes of liquidity. I actually pulled it up. They did send me an email about it's for liquidity purpose.
Okay.
Did that money ever get to the liquidity pool?
If I wasn't told to move it, I didn't move it.
And we have millions of dollars going to John.
Yeah.
I mean...
yeah, I kind of feel the same way you do. My emotions on this are going to come out in the thing soon, if it gets that far.
Yeah. Preferably,
he's not gonna escape this thing.
Let me get the story out first, and then you can let your emotions run however you want.
No, I mean I'm gonna inevitably be deposed, and I'm gonna be able to say what I can say.
As you should, by the way. Did you ever suspect Caroni of fraud?
Yes.
Holy shit. Wait, what? You did win.
I left, right? Like when he started threatening to ruin the lives of the people that have been with me for 10 years, uh, when all that shit, the fake articles about Jack, the way that he treated everybody on the way out. I mean,
Now, safe mooners are going to say, oh, you got kicked out.
that's what they try to say about everyone. They didn't say it about me, but I know firsthand that they were trying to prepare a statement. So, and then their PR firm talked them down.
What did you suspect him? So you said they're treating your friends bad. That's not fraud. Why did you suspect John of fraud? Did you suspect something was going on with the money?
Well, yeah. So, and when I mean, what I mean by he was treating us poorly, like he would say things like profit share or equity and take it, or he'd offer equity for someone to come on and then shuffle that equity into one of the gajillion other businesses and let it flounder.
Hey, real quick, guys, do me a favor. We got 16 likes. Everybody in the chat, hit the like button. Let's see how high we can get that. Let's get more people in here. I appreciate that.
That sort of stuff. I saw that internally.
So he was doing internal things that were shady.
Yeah. I mean, if he was able to, like, he had plenty of money to be able to execute on all that shit.
Is
it possible? If we were able to do our jobs, then, or hire the right teams for things, they'd come out on time.
Now, I heard somebody accuse Caroni of basically keeping profit from Kyle, because Kyle was due 25% of the shares, right? You're telling me he didn't get bought out, even though I've heard he got bought out.
I haven't heard what you heard.
Yeah, so. That's fair enough. But my question is, how could Caroni legally do that? Why wouldn't he just get sued?
I don't think that he can, and I think that he will. But also, it's a very huge, it's a bigger process than I think that some of the guys are even willing to deal with. So we already have a lot on our plate, just trying to keep people off us. Like just yesterday, I got a death threat again. It's happening all the time. Which is why I'm actually quite open to talking to you, because then I can share some details. So it seems like you kind of need them, and the more that people see the content, they think it's happening now. Like they think I still work there. So,
well,
I mean, I left Safemoon to get an $8 billion target off of my family's back. Having a contract that large inside your house, the shit that people will do for a fraction of that,
But you're saying you didn't make any money though, besides the $1 million you got paid from Kyle.
I made some money, and I brought in contact.
Hey, I just want to clarify. What's up, everybody in the chat? This is this is an interview that Coffee did with Thomas Smith before his videos. He posted it, but he posted it as unlisted right here, if you can see that. And we are just watching that together. I haven't seen all this, so I'm just watching it with you guys together. And I pinned up my Discord, so after this is over, we can have people up on stage. You can join the Discord, go to roles, click on the rocket ship at the bottom, and then you'll be able to join the Safemoon live event and come up on stage and have a discussion on the YouTube. But right now we're just watching this, and this is live, but we're watching a video. I was trying to say that.
For my own personal, like, the people that I used to work with in crypto have been in the industry for a long time. So being able to bring in Simplex and the exchange deals, we looked at going at firms to build our own exchange, buying out exchanges, doing white label exchanges. There's several times I brought these gigantic deals to the table. In the last second, John does something like, he wants to own what they do, and if he doesn't like it, he can keep the IP. So they'd always back out.
Well, look,
I think that it's not like he's actively trying to do this. It's probably like a suggestion from a lawyer, like somebody he knows. But it's not good business practice. He should have known that it would spike any of those deals. We could have had this stuff done ages ago. It's part of the reason, yet again, why I left.
So again, like, as tempting as it is to believe that you were just following John's orders and then this like 100 million of value was like perfectly sent to all these other accounts, the way you described it to me was you felt like it was extra money. I find it hard to believe you never sent a fraction of it like to like extra of that extra money to like maybe a wallet you controlled that no one knew about. I mean, come on, I don't believe you only have $1 million after all of this. I don't even believe you only have 2 million. I think you have in the range of 8 figures.
No, God, I wish, because then I wouldn't be having lawyer problems.
You have lawyer problems?
Yeah, dude. Yeah. I definitely don't have the kind of money people think. You know, when I left, my whole team got fired or left with me. So I continued to pay them. I got a bunch of bonuses from Safemoon that I invested very wisely. But the amount that I got was right around that, like the 2 million mark total between the joke sum that I got and some bonuses, which I know it's a lot, but we're bringing in deals worth saving $50 million. Shit like that is, you know, John's convinced he's got like $1 billion organization. So
wait, what do you mean you're bringing in deals worth 50 million?
Yeah.
But y'all aren't. Like here's the thing. Safemoon is not a money-making organization. Unless you take from the LP, there's no money being made except for getting in early on Safemoon. So I don't understand all these deals. Like, where are these deals coming from? If you don't take from the LP and use that Safemoon or use that BNB, Safemoon doesn't make money like that.
No, but when you bring in partners that are willing to work with you, if you bring a large community behind you, there's a lot that you can do to save money, especially with these exchanges.
But so still, I mean, how much money? It's a lot of money. How much money? Like, to me, y'all's golden goose was the LP, right? Where that's where all the Safemoon was coming from. That's where the BNB was coming from, and then you're selling that Safemoon back to exchanges for Tether, and then John's keeping a portion of that. You're saying you didn't keep a portion of that.
I was left out of it because no equity.
You had no equity.
No.
So when somebody tells me, who like I have reason to believe, he tells me you got a like $2 to $5 million payout, you're telling me that's wrong.
No, I didn't. I never got a payout that big. Never.
Okay.
2 to 5? No. If I had, I'd tell you. It's like I said, my wallet
and nothing from John. Nothing from John.
Not from him directly. Nothing that I was able to like. No.
What do you mean not from him directly? What does that mean?
Like that's what your question was. If he was sending me stuff.
Yeah, if there was some kind of agreement, like, hey, you better shut up.
No.
Like.
No, John knows that I don't shut up, and that's probably the biggest problem between he and I.
But why haven't you exposed what he did then?
I was kind of waiting for a lawsuit to do that. To figure it would probably be my best shot. People don't listen to me on Twitter. They don't, you know.
Do you feel bad for all the Safemoon investors who have watched this coin that they loved like plummet 90%?
Yeah, I do. I mean, I started signaling that during my argument with Ginger. It wasn't really an argument. It was we tried to have a structured debate despite the moderators arguing with each other. But I brought up that all of this is a gigantic waste of time and that people should just focus on building. Going to hurt everybody in the end.
Do you think that's what's happening? Is everyone's going to get hurt in the end?
No, it's already happened. You know, I see that with the death threats. I see it with the weird, the comments and stuff. But like I said before, people don't even realize that I had left the organization at all. So the community is so large, and they hear this stuff people are jumping to conclusions.
Yeah, certainly they are, and they think Caroni's a saint.
A lot of people do, and for the same reason they thought everyone is a saint while they're at Safemoon, as long as it aligns with their interests.
Do you know who Ryan Arriaga is? Or you know him, of course.
Former global head of product. Yeah.
He also resigned or got fired, depending on who you believe.
I think. It's the same pattern as everyone else. I think it looked like he was having arguments. Yeah. I'm not sure why. I suspect it has something to do with John not defending anybody, or he said that he had asked him before for help with the lawsuit or whatever. He wouldn't do it. He ghosted him.
Ooh, wait.
If you look at his posts leading up to him resigning, he made a lot of leadership digs, and a lot of us thought that it was just stuff on Twitter talking about the rest of us or whatever, But turns out it wasn't.
I thought Ryan resigned because he said in a public post that everyone who lost money on V1 tax would get their money back. And when you calculate the amount that was lost, it's somewhere in the magnitude of $100 million.
Jeez. Yeah, I
don't think that money's going back to them. What do you think?
Real quick, just to point out, this was before Coffee released his first video. So he did this interview with him, and then he put out all those videos, and at some point he released this, but he released it as unlisted. So you just had to know about it to find it. It only has 2,000 views. So not many people have seen the full interview with Coffee and Papa. It was found out, and everybody likes to take this out of context. When Coffee said they made a small error, he wasn't saying that the difference between 6 million and 100 million is a small error. He was saying that the error that caused that was easy to make for the people that were calculating that. But after they were corrected, they changed it. They said, hey, actually, we were wrong. It was 6 million. So yes, they were wrong. It's still $6 million. That's the point. They acknowledged they were wrong, and let's move on. I guess I can read comments for 1 second. Guys, do me a favor, hit the like button. I really appreciate that. If the stream stops, it's probably because I've got some big storms coming my way, and it might knock out the power. We know for certain that Thomas, the supposed wizard, did not produce anything and constantly talks in circles and trustworthy source. Are we being led to believe? Is the trustworthy source we're being led to believe? So, Gary, what we're doing is, we're just looking at all the information, right? Like, if you're a detective on a case, you don't say, oh, I'm not going to listen to you because you're not a trustworthy source. Now you listen to him, you listen for inconsistencies. He's going to have pieces of truth. He's not just making up a whole story about how he worked at Safemoon. He's going to slip up. And unfortunately, we all know that Thomas, he talks. He likes to say things. He's going to give things away. Does that mean that everything he says is true? No. Does that mean that nothing he says is true? No. That's what we're looking for. We're looking to try to put the picture together. But people who just try to say, oh, he's discredited, don't listen to him. That's the people that don't want to look at the full picture, right? Coffee made a great point. The only money Safemoon could use is from the LP. Okay, and I'm down to counter both sides. Safemoon has a huge community. A lot of people that are willing to buy, whether you're getting listed on the swap, whether it's exchange deal. It's like, hey, we're going to bring you a decent amount of volume on your exchange. And a big community is a big deal, So, but you're right. It's not like we're making money to then make deals with people. That's also a good point. Caroni does not use the LP in legal matter. Mom wouldn't let him do it. Okay, thanks, Nero. The whole world will be after Safemoon if they touch LP. Thomas likes changing his story over and over. If you think Papa has no dirt on himself and other people, you're crazy. Yeah, exactly. He's got dirt on other people. Exactly. And I'm pretty sure what Thomas is saying right here, which really isn't being talked about, is that it sounds like Thomas is trying to sue John. That's what he has planned. And this is pretty recent that he said this to Coffee. So, and it sounds like Thomas at some point wants to be able to tell his side of the story. Now, I'm sure John has his side of the story, so I'm not saying whatever Thomas says is 100% true. Safemoon is a company currency now, which corporation doesn't do shady stuff. Yeah, that's true, but it doesn't mean you don't look at it. It doesn't matter if they use the LP legal or illegal. Either way, it affects the chart negatively. People buy to make money in the future, not to be in the red forever. Exactly, Mad Scientist. Great point, man. Is it hard for any of us to go to Utah and ask John ourselves? It shouldn't be, because a lot of people were going to New York Times Square. John, they'll probably get the cops called on you. All right, I'm going to jump back into it, guys. Like I said, hit that like button, guys.
If they don't have it, they don't have it. And they shouldn't have been done that way. I think I mentioned on Twitter the other day of how it should have been done with an airdrop.
Well, no, if they don't have it, they don't have it. To be clear, all that money went into the LP.
Oh.
And then John has access to it. So he's got $100 million now to play with.
I have no idea what he intends to do with it. From what I understand, there was a form that they were working on. They were going to fill out this form to return money.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Couldn't they just automatically do it?
Sure, they could. Yeah. I mean, anyone can figure out.
Would be easier to do that. It'd be easier to do that than.
Yeah, you don't actually need a form at all. You can just send it.
It's all on the blockchain.
Yeah.
Do you think there might be a reason? Do you think there might be a reason that they want to do it manually?
Perhaps they don't know. I don't know. I mean, it's
unless they go into the details right here. The counter reason of why they possibly wouldn't want to do it manually is they're trying to figure out possibly the bad actors or the bots to exclude them from receiving the lost funds. Like if a bot lost funds, they don't want to refund them. And I don't know that. I think I agree with that. But either way, you still have people that lost their funds that haven't got their money back.
It's pretty obvious that they can do it. And it seems like a pretty simple script.
So the other thing I want to talk about is Kyle. Because you said that, and I've heard this from a lot of SafeMooners, like Kyle, all his SafeMoon is from what he got early on. But that's not true, is it? He took a gigantic amount from the LP as well. Just like...
When did he do that?
You did. He started on the 5th of March, and he ended it on the 5th of April.
Okay, so that's all... Yeah, that's when he had the owner.
Right.
Yeah, and I mean, obviously, I touched the LP because I was moving from V1 to V2.
Yeah,
the stuff that ended up in my wallet, pretty.
Go ahead.
Wait, the stuff that ended up in my wallet is pretty clear. It's all in the thing.
But it's not clear though. We'll talk about that because it's not clear where some of that money went. Like some of it went to John. Some of it went to Bitmart, which that still doesn't make sense to me. But then some of it went to wallets that are just like kind of shell wallets where they just shuffle money around. So we could talk about that. But Kyle specifically, because I know you got paid and you paid Caroni a bunch of money. So when you actually look at Kyle's LP or his SafeMoon amounts, he couldn't have provided that had he not been taking money from the LP. So you guys, your payment was coming from liquidity that was supposed to be for the investors.
I mean, I really don't know anything about what was happening with the owner before I had it.
You didn't know he was taking money out?
No. I mean, these are all things that are going to come up that I might have to talk about.
Do you know how much he took out?
No. And I know he had a substantial amount in the deployer wallet.
Sorry?
I know he had a substantial amount that he got from the presale in the deployer wallet. Presale was over before I got there.
Well, would it surprise you if so hold on, let me. So Kyle, he got 3 million from the, or 3 trillion from the pre-sale. Okay.
Okay.
Would you like to guess how much he took out of the LP?
I imagine more than one. Like I don't know.
Guess. No, guess. Guess how much he took out of the
Guess.
pre-sale. Yeah.
Out of the pre-sale?
Yep. Or sorry, out of the LP. Out of the LP. He got 3 trillion out of the pre-sale. How much did he get out of the LP?
I remember him having a lot more than that. Because he was one of the biggest wallets.
He took out 54 trillion.
Okay. That's a lot.
It's like 7% of the total supply.
That's something you might have to either ask him or wait for deets from the lawsuit thing.
Right. Well, and just what I'm trying to figure out is like,
So all of my experiences with him, he's an upstanding dude. I don't have a reason to.
Well, he paid you $1 million. Of course, you think he's an upstanding dude.
Yeah.
I'd think he was an upstanding dude if he paid me that too. So I don't blame you. But I mean, I have to say, there's obviously.
I mean, it's not the only reason. I had known him for years beforehand. I met him on the Dogecoin Facebook page. We were talking about mining with solar like years and years and years ago. So I've always liked him. We've been friends a long time.
So speaking of that, speaking of solar, or speaking of green energy,
yeah,
let's talk about. Can we talk about this wallet real quick? The Safemoon wallet it was supposed to replace Trust Wallet, but it basically is Trust Wallet.
Oh, okay. So the shell of it, the UI, is Trust Wallet. But the back-end API infrastructure stuff, that I designed that, implemented that. It's that way you can add tokens, remove them, that sort of thing, support for different coins and things. It's supposed to be an initial version. John hired a team that wanted to do things a certain way. That's a fair amount of developer drama that happens in any software development company.
Sure. Fair enough. Yeah, no, I really want to ask about the Gambian wind farm. Project Phoenix. I'm sure you're very well aware of that.
Yeah.
How did you feel about Project Phoenix?
At first it seemed like a cool idea. But I didn't like that. So at a certain point, John leveraged that against me not to leave. So I was considering leaving, and that's where the rumors came from. So I was kicked out of Discord that one time. But at that point, I was really just considering it. People asked me so much, I ended up leaving. But leveraging the detriment of an entire country because I'm not feeling it anymore, that sort of thing. You would say, you're impacting the lives of all these people by not doing it. But all right, so let's look at the economics of windmills. The amount of energy credits you could get stateside, the amount of burn that you get for it, you'd need a gigantic wind farm. Windmills are extremely costly. Like, they're costly to maintain. The amount of money that would be burnt, or the Safemoon that would be burnt, is negligible in pretty much any situation, even if you have a big one. So I never fully understood why windmills might have some
also
spray.
The reveal was just somebody else's windmill.
Yeah, I remember he did he built one in his garage or something.
No, because his reveal was the Symptive windmill with a bunch of dots on it.
Yeah. Yes, I don't know.
Was that nanotechnology made up? It seems made up. It seems fake.
Experimental. But
does that mean
people behind it and they believe they're doing something? I don't fully understand it because the windmill thing doesn't. If it's for burning, then it doesn't make a lot of sense for burning.
Well, yeah, you just might imagine, like, okay, I say I have a fan, right? I'm building this revolutionary fan with nanotechnology, and I show up with a Home Depot fan covered in Sharpie dots. It looks a little silly.
Yeah, it sounds about right.
What?
So I'm going to provide some counter perspective. So the windmills, wind turbines, I don't know. If they were taking wind turbines, which they weren't claiming to make the wind turbines, they were claiming to be using the wind turbines to, I imagine, help the people in the Gambia and somehow allow the Safemoon army to mint those turbines, multiple people minting a turbine, and then every turn was supposed to burn the tokens, and that was said a very long time ago. So I get Coffee's point, but I don't think it's actually like super honest, and I don't think it's intentionally dishonest, but I think that Safemoon was trying to do something, and I'm not sure how effective it was going to be for the holders. Let me read you guys' comments for a second before I start it back up. Future lawsuit is going to be a Netflix series all into itself. Yeah, I know, you guys. We might all be part of something that ends up on Netflix one day. What's up? CEO John Caroni in the chat says, Papa, a cokehead? That's why I fired him. Oh, okay. He failed his drug test. Okay, thanks, John Caroni. What happened to the $1 million that was raised for building the exchange? I forget. We just got that information and we got an answer, but I think they just never used it or something. I don't know. Sounds like someone is bitter that his V2 contract wasn't used. Yeah, and also I think it's important to say that there obviously is, like, Papa's not happy with John. So we have to keep that in mind when we listen to all his information, that he doesn't like John. I mean, he's talking about suing John. He doesn't like the direction that John took Safemoon. So we have to keep all his answers with that perspective in mind. Because is a scammer. Even Coffee looks confused by Papa's story. Oh, he does get confused. All right, I'm gonna start it back up.
This is.
Yeah, I mean, I don't agree with the windmill thing. I think it's fucking stupid, man.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you. Yeah. That's what I was
just
waiting for. Yes.
It's math.
Yeah. Is
you
it
should
true?
know it's fucking stupid.
Is it true that Caroni bought an $8.2 million house?
He fucking what?
I don't know. I'm asking
if he
you.
bought an $8 million house, fuck that guy.
Is it true? I don't know.
No, I don't know. I don't know where he lives. The only address I have for John is the Safemoon office. And I presume that if you're going to get a 40,000 square foot office with nobody in it, you fucking sleep there.
What do you mean nobody's in it? I thought 80 employees worked for Safemoon.
No, that's me poking fun. I think the vast majority of people work remotely. I seriously doubt there's 80 people working in the office. And when Ryan was there, I mean, there's like only, you can count on one hand people who have even like taken a photo in that place.
When I see John Caroni, I see like an Elizabeth Holmes. I see
Theranos argument. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's interesting. I didn't know that he was going to say that. Coffeezilla said, did John buy an $8 million house? And I've heard that rumor for a very long time, guys. I've heard a rumor that John had, but I never said it out loud because it's just a rumor and it looks bad and I wasn't going to say anything. And that's all it could be, is just a rumor on how much John's house is. Let me read you guys' comments for 1 second. They highly insinuated that the wind turbines and windmills were highly homemade and the whole turn and burn thing wasn't ever fully explained or anything as far as I remember. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what's going on with the wind turbines, man. Gosh damn it. I think everyone is way stealing from the LP. Gene Fred Williams says, so he has zero credibility, Papa said. Yeah, if that's the thing, dude. Like, you can't discredit somebody as a means to not listen to them. Like, you're just trying to suppress the flow of information. Their credibility does play a role in their information, but people speak, cops do interviews all the time with people who do murders and they slip up. I mean, it's very hard to not slip up and, like, to have a whole story stay consistent with the truth and lie at the same time is like impossible, right? You're gonna slip up. There's gonna be holes somewhere. So, people, yeah, that's a big deal. Papa and Coffeezilla are 2 POS. I think you were taught to believe that, Gene. I don't think you actually feel that way. Good thing they didn't come out with NFT for a wind turbine. I was gonna get one. I was gonna get one too. You know, I ordered the card. I knew that 80 employees story was straight BS. Stop spreading FUD about Safemoon. Gianni straight up on me look 3 LOL. I'm gonna do whatever I want, okay? And you do you. You want to go do whatever you want? I'm okay with you doing whatever you want, but don't tell me what to do with my chat, or I'll ban you.
I see somebody who believes they're a revolutionary.
He pushed everyone away that was capable of doing anything. We built when I came on, the plan was to change DeFi, show that marketing could be done differently. You know, was through mimetics, educating about the space, and then if you remember the original website, it was community driven. It's now purely centralized. Not even, it's a CeFi contract. Binance is centralized with its limited validators. We saw that when we crashed.
Crypto Guru says this is worth talking about. I'm about to get hit by some storm, so if the stream ends, it was the storm. Crypto Guru says, didn't someone disprove all of Coffeezilla's claims? No, all that was disproved was it wasn't 100 million, it was 6 million that was lost in the V1 to V2 migration. And then everybody took that and said everything that Coffeezilla said was false. Just mind-blowing to see that type of logic. So Kyle took from the LP, Kyle paid Thomas, Ben Phillips pumped Safemoon while dumping on the holders, and John's wallets have been proven to be the 666 wallet through the NFT, the Moondog NFT, and through the South by Southwest NFT. And the Gabe wallet as well was controlled by Tano, and the founders of Tano were John and Thomas and Kyle. And Thomas has said the Gabe wallet was John's wallet. So we're just looking at everything. So when people say wasn't he debunked? No, he wasn't debunked.
So we caused their validators to go out of sync because we had too much volume. So I'm like I build decentralized apps and peer-to-peer networks. I don't build centralized. Like, I don't know. I'm averse to that, I think.
I guess what I'm wondering is, when I see Kyle, I see him taking out $10 million from the LP. Actually, he took out a lot more than that, but he sold specifically $10 million that looks like he kept. He gets paid $3 million from Caroni. I see you pulling out $100 million of value from the LP. I see Caroni then taking millions of dollars from Bitmart. All of it seems to revolve around this tax that was supposed to be for the investors to get a supported price floor. Somehow you guys end up with millions of dollars. How is this possible?
They came up with that deal. I'm not sure why the exchanges bid. That's on them. I didn't negotiate that one.
Yeah, and frankly, I mean, to be honest, I'll just be honest, because I feel like that I'm just trying to get to the truth here. How is this not fraud?
Which part?
The part where it starts and everything's locked up, guys. Don't worry, the money's locked up. Don't worry, we'll never touch it. If we did, we'd go to jail and get a lawsuit. And then subsequently, everybody who owns the contract touches the LP and takes money. How is that not fraud?
I think at first people, we were trying to do the auto locking, and then when the organization started, John leveraged to have it unlocked. So there was a lot of shifting at first.
But no, the LP was taken from before John ever got on board. It was taken from March 5th. From the beginning, money was being taken out of the LP.
You definitely ask those questions, but I don't have answers for you on that.
Well, here, I'll send you the transactions. I don't want to make I never like to make statements where people don't believe me.
It's on the blockchain. It's on the blockchain.
Here, I'll send you the transaction though, just so you can check for yourself. I don't want you to think that this is some kind of a thing. There he is taking 36 trillion Safemoon out of the LP on March 5th. How is this not fraud? At this time, they're saying it's auto-magically locking up for 4 years. You never have to worry. And then you guys end up with millions of dollars and the investors end up with negative 90%. I mean, you can understand the problem there.
Well, yeah, I see the problem for sure.
What do you think should be done about this?
Well, I think the first thing that happens is we go to court. Well,
But here's what I'm saying. Here's what I'm saying. Do you think it's right for you to have $2 million, for Kyle to have however much he has, for John to have millions of dollars, all you guys to walk away millionaires, and all your investors, a lot of them are down 90%. Do you think that's fair?
Well, I know you're frustrated and you've got a lot of really good points. From my perspective, which I should probably be only answering on for that part.
Hey guys, I'm going to go into some speculation on some stuff that is floating around right now. As an investor, don't take this as a fact. It's just speculation. I think the trial or something is going to start for the Safemoon lawsuit on the 9th. So in a week. So next Monday, it seems. And I need to put my trash out. Sorry, I just had that thought. And there was also, a rumor that Safemoon tried to lower the lease from a 3-year lease to a 1-year lease with HQ. And then Brandon Fugel posted a comment in response to someone said that Brandon Fugel owns the building. So Brandon Fugel said, no, this is a lie. He said, and I've never owned Safemoon. I've never been paid. So then the Safemoon army, many of the Safemoon maxis that didn't dig into it, took Brandon Fugel's response saying, no, that's a lie, and applied it to the main post, which said there's rumors that they're changing the lease from 3 years to 1 year, like shortening their lease. And they said, see, Brandon said it's not true. And they took that way out of context. Everybody just runs with it. Nobody does any research. And then they condemn everybody else for not doing research. It's insane. So yeah, I mean, there is some interesting, scary signs going on, and I'll be honest, guys. For the past months, I've been a little worried about the lawsuits. I'm like, how is this? Can this have a really negative impact on the company that brings down Safemoon and investors get screwed? I've been asking people about that. I've been not trying to broadcast this in videos that, guys, the lawsuits, it's the end. Everybody's like, I'm not doing that. But I've just been worried about the lawsuits, and I've been worried about where they got all their money. And then Coffeezilla started posting all these videos about Kyle taking 50-something trillion from the LP. That's insane. I really need to dig deeper into that and see what that did to investors. That's insane. And another interesting thing was that when Safemoon Dev was selling, which is Kyle's wallet, right? John said it's his wallet. Let him do what he wants. And there is a full, clear picture here, and somebody just has to put it together. And I'm going to work with whoever to try to put that picture together and figure out who's innocent, who's guilty, and let everybody decide for themselves. But there is things happening soon. A lot of things are happening right now behind the scenes, just so you guys know. Maurice Holloway says John stole millions that was supposed to go into the LP, but sure, he's not a bad guy. Crypto Control, we should talking about your project instead of talking someone else's problems. My project is in the works, and I'm not going to do it unless I think it's really good. So I don't even want to talk about that right now. It'll be a little bit before anything like that comes out. You hear him with no answer, and Coffee asked him lies. Hey, what's up, Rich Bromwell? Thank you for that $1, man. I really appreciate that. Everybody do me a favor, hit the like button. So if those wallets are John's, then he's super rich, but that doesn't mean he stole it. Maybe he earned it. Maybe Crypto Guru, and that's what we have to figure out. We got to play both sides. You always find the maxis playing the positive side. Maybe John's innocent. Maybe it's not his wallet. Everybody was so hell-bent on saying that it wasn't John's wallet. Whenever this image came out right here, they were saying, oh no, he was replying to Ben Phillips But then John also posted it on his Instagram. Everybody's just constantly trying to shift blame off of John. It's amazing, right? It's the kind of investors that you want, that defend you to the death while you don't say anything. And maybe John can't speak because of legal things. I think it wouldn't be that hard to say, guys, I never took anything and it's all going to be proved. To at least say that, right? I'm sure you can legally say that. But, all right. Are you going to sell your... No, I'm not selling my Safemoon. If I do, I'll let everybody know. If I ever decide to sell my Safemoon, things would have to look really bad with the lawsuits for me to ever want to do that. And even then, I don't think I would, just because it's like my attachment to my Safemoon peers. I put $10K in April now, worth just $700. Sucks. Yeah, I mean, we've all put money in and it's down for sure. Want to know about the lawsuit, please keep it. Yeah, I will be keeping you updated on the lawsuits. That's happening, I think, within a week. But there's a lot of information going on, guys, that I'll be covering probably in live streams and videos over the next extended period of time.
I perform a service for money. I'm a dev. I've always been a dev. This is what I do. I've been doing it for a long time. So if I work out a deal with the org that's controlling me to get paid for something, I'm providing real value on my end. So did I end up with millions and millions of dollars? No. Didn't happen like that. And I've got to pay taxes on what I did earn and what I did.
Okay, let's just say you ended with $1 million, right?
Like I'm uncomfortable with this one situation where if, like, my understanding was when I received the stuff from Dev that he got it fairly. That's what I was told at the time anyway. You know, he got it from the pre-sale. So I'm uncomfortable with that if it didn't come from the pre-sale.
Right. I mean, that's the whole problem. I agree with you. So I actually agree with you. If Safemoon Dev had bought it in the pre-sale and he had decided to give you guys a payout and that's how you guys made your millions, we wouldn't be talking, right? The problem is that there was an express thing that was the whole purpose of Safemoon. The whole idea of Safemoon was we're going to go safely to the moon. It's in the name. How are we going to go safely to the moon? Well, these other DeFi projects rug. We're not going to rug. What's not going to make us rug? We're auto-magically locking the LP, except no, we aren't. We're taking from the LP, and that's actually how we're making our millions of dollars.
It's definitely obvious that that stance changed. I was locking the LP myself.
Right, but that stance changed. April 21st was your all-time high. You guys were still
it's like
changing
the day
the story.
Before that I locked the 250.
Right. But what I'm saying is you guys were still changing the story at the time of your all-time high. So even if it changed, it's sort of like too little, too late. So many people are on this ride. You know what I mean?
I think we were pivoting often in those days. So we started out on a WordPress page that definitely couldn't handle this stuff. There was a lot of shit on there that shouldn't have been there to begin with.
But even your page up in April was LP. There's something about auto locking LP or LP locked on PancakeSwap for 4 years. Blah blah blah. You're talking about auto locking LP. People think you're auto locking it up. I mean,
I was not making any. Like, I never made any claims as to automatic or manual. Like, I was showing people, I was telling people when I was doing it. So we did it all together in Discord.
Right. No, I understand that. Maybe you were like saying to people who asked, but the organization as a whole had made a certain representation, right? So the organization said, okay.
Well, back then, I don't even think there was an organization fully made yet.
Fine, a website. Somebody was saying that this thing's auto-locking. This is the whole thing behind Safemoon. I mean, it's in the name, right? And y'all had it in your white paper about the locking, right? The auto-locking, you did. So this is the whole problem that I'm struggling with is I just keep coming back to this feels like fraud. This is fraud. I mean, how could it not be? You guys are millionaires. Your investors are down 90%, and you guys are millionaires directly from a representation that was false.
I mean, we did tell people when we used it. I didn't make any false. We did change things a lot. You know, the website was bad. The white paper was bad. It needed to be updated. We did scaling for it. Changed a lot of things along the way. Found things out as we went. It's not unlike any other, project that's started.
Okay. I hear you.
The growth was unbelievable.
Yeah, I know, and I've heard that like Kyle didn't expect it. Nobody expected this growth, right? So you guys kind of ended up, for better or for worse, with the golden goose, right?
Here's John claiming that the LP lock is not automatic but automated.
Right. He makes that claim on the 20th?
Yeah, I'm seeing that.
Right. Which, what does that even mean? I mean, like,
I'm telling you, like, that's not, it wasn't automated. Like, I was told when to lock the stuff.
Yeah.
And we were arguing about locking it all the way up until we did.
So, yeah, this is the whole problem. And then, now, you're left with John Caroni, who's doing God knows what with the Bitmart funds, which it's not clear how that's not also taking. It seems like that's also taking from investors. Like, the value comes from somewhere. It just goes back to the question of money.
If John mishandled the stuff from Bitmart, that's fucked up.
But even if he used it for anything except the LP, that's still a misrepresentation. You know what I mean? Like, Bitmart said this is going to the LP. If he's using it for anything but the LP, which we know that the $4 million in his wallet is not in the LP because it's in his wallet.
See, this would be a primary contention with John, is that he thought, or probably still thinks to this day, the liquidity is there and he can access it.
He thinks it's his piggy bank or what?
That's a really good way to put it. I wouldn't be surprised at all. I mean, you're seeing it from the transactions. It looks like he's treating it like a piggy bank. He pulls on it when he wants to. And it's not like there's anyone there that can check him on any of those.
Okay.
So, yeah. And also, from the beginning, we stated often that stuff will be used for lawyers and for spinning up, getting devs, server costs, stuff like that. Scaling the website was. Well,
you guys said that on April 21st is when John first said that, and he said we don't foresee a need to do that, and you guys had already at that point taken millions of dollars of tokens and used it.
Like the early Discord AMAs and on Discord was where the early community was at.
If I look at the April 21st one, he says, I think I quote like something to the effect of, it can also be used for seeding exchanges and other development costs, but we haven't really needed to do that yet, and we don't foresee a need. Something to that effect. So that had already happened, though. That was a clear lie because y'all had already started taking money from the LP. So even if you changed it then, you had already taken money. And so it all comes back to like this question, which is that the investors are down. There are misrepresentations, whether or not you guys like were unprepared or you just kind of like felt like, okay, we need to change it to make it whatever. You didn't inform the community before you had already taken the money, right? And then now you guys are millionaires. Most people are way down. And sort of the question is like, what should happen? Do you think you should be a millionaire from Safemoon since so many people lost money?
A lot of people ask me the same thing. Do I think that I should be?
Yeah.
I think that while I was there, I worked for 9 months straight. I didn't take any days off. Hardly did. I worked really fucking hard.
Mm-hmm.
I earned what you would earn in other DeFi projects. Not an ungodly bajillion millions of dollars, like $100 million. Fuck that. Not even 5. Not even 3.
Okay, let's say you made $2 million. I've never heard of a project where you make $2 million in 9 months on a failing project.
I mean, it's failing now. Like a lot of us left. While I was there.
Right, but you guys didn't. Okay, right. I understand what you're saying, but like you didn't. The money that you made wasn't like an agreed upon. Hey guys, we've got this development fund, and we're gonna pay our developers from, this pool. And just so you guys know, it's going to be like $2 million. Okay, fair enough. If that's what it is, pay what your developers whatever you want. The money came from a place that investors were told this is impossible, and the whole purpose of the coin is that it's a safe moon because the LP is not going to be touched. It came from the LP, your payment. So that's the problem. It's not about how much you got paid necessarily. You could have been paid $100,000, and if it was from the LP, that's fraud. It's a small fraud, but it's still fraud. Instead, it was millions of dollars, which seems bigger. Now, again, if what you're saying is true, and you made $2 million, Kyle made 10, Caroni made who knows how much, obviously, I'm just as concerned with those guys too. But I just don't see where you guys are at with like how you guys think of yourselves in the wake of this. I understand that maybe you didn't know where that money was coming from, you're saying, but like now that you do know, what do you think?
It's a good question, man. Like I said, I work places and I do what I'm told. It's not like I was able to exercise any real creative freedom other than going into an AMA and explaining how the V1 mechanics work. Which, besides sitting there and watching the contract like a hawk, that was, yeah. I facilitated a lot of internal deals, and yeah, I know that didn't pan out very well, but how do I feel about it?
Yeah.
It's, if these guys didn't have the right to access what they had access to, that's something they're going to have to answer for sure.
But if you benefited from that, aren't you going to have to answer for it too?
I'm already doing that.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm doing it. Not like this has been an extremely easy going thing, I've blown like 90% of my net worth just keeping my own team that I wanted to, like, these are local friends I've known since high school. They do research with me here. And I've blown all my money to keep them afloat for the last year. Because John wouldn't pay them, and they all got fired. So, like, I don't have millions of dollars. Fucking try to go out there and do right by the world or whatever. You work in your field and try to do something, right? When you see some modicum of success and growth, it gets torn to pieces one way or another,
Well, again, I'm not trying to tear you guys down for how successful the coin was. The only thing I care about is
I was just bringing up how maybe it's a warning for anyone in DeFi.
Well, I think it's a warning about you got to be clear up front, right, with where the money's coming from, where the dev funds are coming from. Like, you can't retroactively go, hey guys, we're gonna touch the thing that we said we're never gonna get money from. You can't retroactively make that your piggy bank. Like, that doesn't make any sense. So you have to be clear up front. Hey, we're going to use 0.5%, 1% of fees or whatever, and we'll use that. That's fine. No, we wouldn't be talking if that was the case, right? The only reason we're talking is Safemoon said one thing and they did a completely other thing that materially harmed investors. And now 12 months later, we're talking about it, and Safemoon still has a billion dollar market cap or something like that. And they had a $4 billion market cap. A lot of people's money is betting on you guys and betting on the promises that you guys made.
Well, so this is, like I said,
I just want to take a second to comment on that. That was so beautifully said by Coffee. Why did you buy, guys? Why did you buy Safemoon? It's because you believed that something big was happening. Something big was happening with the owls. Something big was happening in Gambia. The blockchain, the exchange by the end of the year. They said multiple times the blockchain was coming by the end of last year. And how many people bought because of that? It's one thing to say we're aiming for, but they said it was happening. How many people bought because of the wallet? and the wallet didn't come out. You know, it came out later after Ryan. And this isn't to put the team down. This is just facts, right? I understand development. You could run into tons of issues. You guys might be able to hear thunder. And that's a huge deal. Safemoon, Coffeezilla is making a huge point. We were sold that Safemoon was safe because the liquidity pool wasn't going to be touched. And if we go look at this, which I probably will after the video, Thomas, Kyle, and John founded Tano. Kyle took, I need to go confirm this, but supposedly, according to Coffee, I have to go look at the blockchain, and we'll probably do that on a different stream. We'll be looking at all the transactions on the blockchain together to verify it for ourselves. But according to Coffee, who I'm sure verified it, Kyle took 50-something trillion tokens. How could these buddies who started Tano not know that Kyle took that from their own project and then used it to pay Thomas? I mean, that's a huge deal, and that needs to be explained as well, in some way. Let's finish this. It's almost over.
It's not like any of those decisions were even remotely mine. So if misrepresentations, dude, I get marching orders. You know, you got your boss that's asking you every 5 minutes if they're tracking what you're saying, or if you're tracking what they're saying. You know what I mean?
So you felt like you were just like an employee.
Well, yeah, I was a Tano employee the whole time.
Even though you were the CTO, weren't you the CTO?
I was never a Safemoon employee, and despite having a title or whatever, it's through the management contract with Tano, which was a gigantic. That's another mess that I need to deal with privately, John.
What do you think should happen to John? I mean, okay, here's a question. Do you think at this point, having seen everything that I've shown you, having learned all this stuff, do you think Safemoon defrauded their investors?
I think if I had the chance to build what I was trying to build, I wouldn't be having these problems today.
No, but right. Okay, fair enough. But that's not what I asked. I mean, I'm saying Safemoon, you're not there anymore. Do you think Safemoon currently is defrauding investors?
Safemoon today is an active participant. When they turned off the liquidity, when it could no longer operate on its own, the V2 contract is a mess. I mean, yeah, the V1 contract had its problems, but it was stable. You know, we could pass an audit. This is all stuff that'll get me torn apart in the community anyway. Stuff that I brought up, the infamous Paul John case. I had identified a few exploits and weird mechanics inside the contract that should have been updated. Hopefully have that. But I was ridiculed for bringing up those issues because it's anti. You know, it's like if that should have gone, it would be a much worse situation today. But do I feel like today Safemoon is doing the things that it says that it's supposed to be doing? I mean, with a fraction of the runway, we could have done a lot more. And people were asking me, you know, how do you feel about Safemoon? It's like, yeah, the one thing that I could say is that, yeah, they've got enough runway to do anything that they could possibly want to accomplish. Like, short of setting up a colony on the moon or some fucking crazy shit like that. You know, they could have done anything.
Interesting.
But no, like, maybe they're doing stuff now. I don't know. I don't feel good about it because I'm made to blame when things go wrong even today with the new contract.
I don't blame you for stuff that goes on today.
I know.
The only thing I'm interested in is the stuff you did while you were at Safemoon. That's the only thing I've been pushing you about. I think you can agree with that. Is everything you did while you were there? Because
I maintain fully that everything that I did with that contract was fully vetted by John.
And you're saying you really didn't make, even though $100 million of value passed through that wallet, you didn't keep any of that?
No, I didn't keep any of the shit that they were asking me to move. And then I gave it all to them when I left. So they have the private keys for the old owner that still has some stuff in it, but then they transferred everything over. I even did the transfer ownership to one of their controlled wallets, so I didn't have their keys. Yeah.
Can I ask you about something? So I saw. So Safemoon. Here, I'll share my screen real quick.
Okay.
So Safemoon, they removed liquidity recently.
Okay.
From the current liquidity pool. There was 10 million BNB and 10 million BUSD on PooCoin or on PancakeSwap or SafeSwap, and then it showed up on PooCoin. And so I noticed one day $20 million was removed.
Oh. I know they recently did a whole bunch of they had to update some shit.
Uh-huh.
You know, like so for like Enhancer, some of the other dudes that are listed on the swap, they had to remove all their liquidity and put it back in. I think they did it a bunch of times.
Well, the whole problem is sort of that that the whole problem is that they only put half of it back.
Oh. Did they use any of the other half?
Well, I don't know. They took out 20 million, they put back 10 million.
Oh, okay. Is there another 10 million in that address? Because there should be like the other transactions if something happened with that other stuff. Like I don't know what they're doing that for, but
there's 6 million in Safemoon here. Let's see if I can find. So hang on one second. Let me see if I can find this. It's annoying. I just had this up.
Hey, Kuldeep or anybody, if you guys want to come up and discuss with me, you're welcome to click the Discord link at the top and join my Discord. Verify yourselves by going to the roles and clicking on the little rocket ship, and then you can come up on stage. The video is almost over. If you want to come up, you are welcome to come up and discuss with me. Is this a new video? This is the full 2-hour Papa call that Coffeezilla did with Thomas before he posted his very first video of Safemoon, I believe. But he posted it as unlisted, so a lot of people haven't seen it. It only has 2,000 views, so not many people have seen the full interview with Coffee. I was going to watch it by myself, and I thought, why not watch it with a bunch of people, get you guys' perspective, and we can take a look at some more stuff later. John cleaned up the house. Yeah, we don't know what John did. We don't know what's going on behind the scenes, so let's not assume we know.
By the way, whatever happened with the while I'm looking for this, whatever happened with the FBI thing?
Okay, yeah, that's a good question. So the FBI was asking us, but they showed up at Hank's house first, and then they reached out to John. It was about the DX locker report. So that report is a cherry pick of the deployer address and some other things. But we were able to. I put together a report that was provided to the FBI, and they closed the matter. Because the DX locker kind of claims that the amount that's missing, like literally a hot wallet. I keep seeing this happen in places where people can't differentiate between a hot wallet and a person.
Sure.
And there's just a gajillion dollars in there, and that ended up in that report. I explained all that stuff and how to look it up for them. John had his meeting, and so a while ago he went to New York randomly. Mm-hmm. That was to meet with the FBI directly.
Hey, damn it, Mitch Bromo, can you put Black Legend HD in timeout? And if he keeps saying like weird stuff, then just ban him. John, yeah, guys, be careful. It's very easy to ban you in here. I'm trying to create a place to actually discuss ideas, but if you become hateful, that's not discussing ideas. So don't cry censorship whenever you're just being a douchebag.
Which he probably could have done in Utah, but the investigator was out of New York, so he flew out.
I see. So John went up there?
Yeah.
I see. Interesting. Okay. Here's what I mean, though, by the way. Sorry.
Sure.
Let me show you this. So, you see that? These are the transactions.
So
this is them taking it out.
And they put in half.
And they put back half. Yeah.
Fuck, that's weird.
A lot of weird
it smells
stuff.
Like it smells like it's in line with the other John happenings.
I mean, it just feels to me like John's walking away with millions of dollars and everyone's just supposed to nod their head and pretend like this is okay. Why haven't you guys said something? Like, I mean, you know, I guess you said you're gonna say something when the lawsuit happens.
Yeah, we have. Well, the lawsuit is happening now.
Right.
Yeah.
Do you think John's gonna get charges?
He has 100% equity in a V2 token that has an active participant component. It's not looking good.
What do you mean active participant component?
So SEC token guidelines. Beyond
the
Howey test.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the SEC is in support of decentralized networks that don't have an active participant. And when Safemoon and I know that some people are going to disagree with me about this, but with Swap and Liquify, it was able to support its own liquidity, whereby you never actually needed to ever open the contract owner. You could leave it alone completely.
Mm-hmm.
And when that was gone, the liquidity deposits are now manual.
Mm-hmm.
So Safemoon is quite literally an active participant by definition. When I heard about that, that was the first thing I thought of.
Interesting.
So do I think he's going to catch charges? I mean, realistically, I have no idea. You know, there can be all kinds of defenses. I think that it definitely doesn't look good for him. And that there's no support for him in this lawsuit thing. And likewise, he's already signaled that.
Oh, you guys aren't like coordinating your response or like, because he's not no. interested in working with you guys.
No, he's not at all. In fact, he's more interested in ruining us than he is minding his own fucking business.
Are you guys interested in ruining him in return?
I mean, we kind of figured that would happen on its own.
What do you mean? What do you mean? What happened? What happened? What happened?
What that he would? Yeah, this lawsuit thing is, in some ways, almost is indefensible. He's got to answer some stuff. I really shouldn't talk about it. So
sorry. Okay, we don't have to.
Don't
worry about it. Don't worry about it. Yeah,
all this stuff is going to come out with time, you know. So people are going to get the answers that they're looking for.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think. I have a few more questions, and I'm just trying to remember them. And dude, by the way, I just really appreciate you taking the time to do this. I wish John would do this. I mean, I
kind of wish he would too. I think all of us would wish that he did some shit like this a long time ago, because then there would be way less harassment and way less like I've changed my phone like 3 times.
Wow. I guess I've covered the part about, I really wanted to ask what you thought now that you kind of know stuff, is if you thought it was a fraud, etc. I still don't understand the exchange deal. I don't know if there's another way you can explain it. Did you guys ever get any documentation from Bitmart that explained like how it was going to work? Is there some proof you have that? Yeah, is there some proof that you have that like you guys are going to get paid a certain amount in like USDT, Is there some proof of that? Because I just find it hard to believe. I mean,
John would. There was a contract that they signed between them.
yeah, to me, what's written is pretty clear that Safemoon was going to get a bunch of money into their account for the purpose of putting it into the liquidity pool.
The purpose was to support, it's to simulate the tokenomics so that the 10% and the adding to liquidity, which makes sense. Market maker would be in the centralized context exactly the same as the liquidity pool in a way. It's very different, but in that context, similar. All they had to do was deposit into that. Withdrawals from there is entirely John's access.
So John had access to the had access
so they
to
would,
all of that.
From once a month, there would be one day of sending Safemoon out to centralized exchanges for so that they could do reflections.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
What's Ronin Crypto Group?
I've asked John that a number of times. I think it's just a holding company between him and Jack. I don't think Jack's on it anymore.
What's Dark Moon?
Dark Moon? I don't know if it's a business, but it's kind of like the way I understood was kind of like Operation however the fuck Phoenix. Phaonix. By the way, that was a misspelling that he just kind of ran with.
I know. It's the funniest thing ever. It's so dumb.
Yeah. Thank you. Could have just fixed it at any time, but anyway.
Hey, I'll call a spade a spade. I agree with you. That's dumb, dude. That's dumb.
What the fuck? Yeah. Right. Sorry. Dark Moon. So similar that it's like a internal operation, like codename thing for something that's happening. Dark Moon is the spray thing. I don't know if it's like involving the Windmills, because Windmills was a Phoenix thing. Mm-hmm. John wanted to do it's the meshnet that he's talking about, Web3 meshnet. I don't know how they intend to implement this. But yeah, that's what Dark Moon is. It's just another name for a project.
Okay.
But you already know my feelings on this weird spray making a windmill go faster. They can only go so fast.
Yeah.
If Republicans say that it's going to stop the wind, like, oh no. Nobody's asking what happens to the Safemoon windmill burn when the wind stops.
Well, every turn of burn, it doesn't. Anyway, I don't want to get into that. That's just like nonsense. I mean, I think it's insanity. I don't think that's real. I think it's basically fake. But that's just my opinion.
I think they're definitely trying, but I don't think that they understand the.
No, but they're trying. But they're like not. They're not environmental design people. I mean.
So he's getting high while he interviews. He's not getting high. He's smoking a vape. He's vaping, guys. Do you guys not know what vaping is?
I mean, this nanotechnology. What nano? Anyway, don't get me started.
We can definitely agree on that. But it's
right. Yeah.
It was confusing to me because it's not in line with what we were trying to do with the DeFi project. Gambia was confusing as hell to me too. Why the Gambia?
Well, because his parents were working there.
Yep. I feel like that's something that he was never able to answer with a straight answer. Why the Gambia?
Yeah, that's true. Okay. Well, I think that's it, man. You have been through a long call. It's just hitting 2 hours.
Oh shit. Okay.
I think those are all my questions.
Yes, you can put it in the vape and get high. Yes, you can also put DMT, crack, cocaine. So are we just assuming that he's doing drugs, or so that we can discredit him, or are we trying to be a little logical in here? What are we trying to do?
I can't say. Listen,
I know you're going to talk about it or release some of the stuff. Just the only thing I give a shit about is I don't want John to sue me because he'll bring some unholy amount of heat. I don't care about FBI, Fed, SEC, nothing. That's all good to me. It's just him.
It's just Caroni
Yeah.
that you're scared of. Interesting.
It's the amount of he already knows that he can bury us in paperwork. He's just gonna send shit at us until we don't have any. We can't defend anything.
I think somebody has to stand up to Caroni. I think he's a bully. I think, or that's how he's been made to sound. I don't know John Caroni obviously personally, but the way you guys describe him, he sounds like maybe he's a bully, and usually the best way to deal with those people is just to stand up to him. So it's not, you can't play their game.
Because with this lawsuit, I'm going to do what I'm going to do. But him suing me before that stuff has a chance to happen. Like, if you're going to talk about this stuff, just tell him I'm anonymous or something. I'll keep telling you shit, I don't care. But I'm happy to talk to the FBI again. That's fine too.
Yeah, I mean, dude, this has been what? Listen.
I know it's a lot. Kind of.
It has been a lot. Okay, so what else? Oh, obviously, I guess the last thing I want to say is, like, obviously, I kind of don't believe some of the stuff you said about, just being honest, about how much money you made. I just find it hard to believe. I just find it, like, preposterous. But
and that's okay. It's what I told you is what I've been telling everybody and what is verifiable, and
and no, some of this is definitely going in the Safemoon story. This is mind-blowing. You're kind of blowing a lot of this wide open for me. I think you've explained quite a lot of good stuff here, and I appreciate it.
I'm sure we'll see this on Netflix someday.
Wow, you just gave me chills saying that. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I mean,
I just got chills. It does feel that way. The Safemoon story is insane.
Yeah, it is.
Whew. Okay. All right.
Well, if you have any more questions, if I can help you clarify shit, I know you don't trust some of the stuff that I've said. I'll tell you the same thing.
I'll just be honest. I've just heard other things from other people who also seem sincere. So it's just hard to know who's telling the truth.
That's okay. Yeah, no, I get it. People obviously, they come at me a lot with a lot of the same kind of. It's like between the spaghetti chart of weird addresses and the DX Locker report, or the what was it, hash X.
Sure.
All that stuff. I get that a lot. It's kind of still here though, so let me know. So I'd rather, if you're going to be talking about stuff, you might as well have the right information.
Hey, I appreciate that. All right, man. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Okay, guys. Now, if you guys have something you want to say, we can keep it short, be respectful. Click on the Discord link at the top of the chat. Go to my Discord. Verify yourself in the roles section. You got to go click on that little rocket ship at the bottom, and then you can come up on stage and say your piece. And I will allow you to say what you want to say. John K. was the most likely an army intelligence specialist, and you learn to keep your mouth shut. People will hang themselves. Sharing, that's a lie. 650K people are delusional. No, not the whole Safe guys. There's only a small group of people that are crazy about Safemoon. A lot of people want answers. A lot of people have given up. I don't know what the truth is, but that's what I'm going to spend my time looking for, is the truth. So whatever that is, that's what I want. I don't want John to be guilty. I don't want John to be innocent. I just want to know whether he is or not. It's that simple, and that's what separates me, and that's what separates me and you guys that want to know from everybody who doesn't want to know, right? That's all that's happening here. But I'm getting canceled, unsubscribed. People are blocking me, hating me, saying lies about me, saying I sold my tokens. They just turn on you. And that's okay. That's okay if they do that. The interesting thing to me is like the Tano thing, like I was saying earlier. I'm just using Fonzie because I know he has it posted somewhere. I don't know, Crypto Control, maybe the saying where there's smoke could be in play. I hope not, but it is what it is. That's the thing, is every time I've done this with Safemoon, everybody gets mad at me. The Maxis do, not you guys. And then it ends up being true, like with Thomas, with Jack, with Hank. I covered all that while it was happening, and people turned on me. I covered Ryan leaving. People turned on me. And then I started to get concerned about the lawsuits and where did they get all their money from? Because I knew they didn't have marketing, right? They didn't add a development fund or whatever until V2 very recently. So they had millions of dollars. Where did they get all that money from? From Times Square, HQ, all kinds of stuff. Join the call. Click on the... you have to go to the event in my Discord. Click on the Discord and just go in there and raise your hand. We got a couple people in here right now. Oh, you guys can't see what the hell I'm looking at. Sorry, guys. Let me fix that. We're looking at tequila. The Wiener Dog says it all. Yeah, that's John's wallet. There's no denying that's not John's wallet. Some people followed that wallet, and it goes to a South by Southwest NFT that you only get for being at South by Southwest. So, John, those are John's wallets. There's no doubt. The block button is oh so sweet. Have you lost faith in Safemoon, John Caroni? No, I just don't operate how most people do. It's just like, I don't just say, oh, I believe in you or I don't believe in you. I'm just trying to find out what you did. Like if we prove that John took millions of dollars from what was meant for the LP, then yes, I would lose faith in John Caroni. But until we get there, even if it looks bad, I don't come to a conclusion. I say it looks like that, but I can't prove it. And I hope to prove him innocent or guilty. But I don't care which way it goes. I prefer for it to go innocent, and I prefer for Safemoon to do well so I can continue to do YouTube for it. Safemoon dies. This channel was built on Safemoon. Where does this channel go? It doesn't really have much where else to go. I can try to start talking about other cryptos. But it's in my financial best interest for Safemoon to do well and for me to only talk positively about it. But I just don't do that. Let me see if I can find this Tano things. Dang it. He posted a lot of stuff. Yeah, so John also... So here's the thing where John shared it on his Instagram. He also shared it on his Instagram. There's a lot of smoke to be no fire. Statue of Light is the way he brings it out. Proof of transactions, yes, but those transactions are nothing strange. They invested the LP money, got a massive return on it, and now they need to put it back. Safemoon is more than one person. All can be replaced, and it can still be profitable. Yeah, I don't know what could happen. John could go. John could stay. I don't know what's going to happen. I'm just kind of listening to your guys' perspectives. I like to hear opposing views, unlike a lot of people. I like to hear views that oppose my own and then weigh them against what appears to be logical. So yeah, John Caroni said, I named him Captain Hodl. I like NFTs. Looking forward to moving him over to the Safemoon wallet. So it's not only did this prove that this is his, and that proves that that's his wallet, which the Safemoon maxis were desperately trying to prove it wasn't. And also, they're putting out what the government likes to call misinformation. They tried to debunk this. Everybody jumps on board. Nobody researches it. And people just believe it. So you have to literally go over with people like, hey, that's not true. That was John's wallet. And he did post on his Instagram about this. And it does link to a South by Southwest NFT as well, which only John could have had because he was the only one at the thing. Alrighty. Let me see if anybody wants to come up on stage real quick. 100 Billy Grow. You can come up, man. Hey, what's up, 100 Billy Grow? You just gotta unmute yourself.
Yeah, sorry, I had to unmute my mic. So, what I really want to talk about is just this Tano stuff from the very beginning.
Yeah.
So, Tano was just Thomas, Kyle, and John, correct?
Mm-hmm. I mean,
So
that
if
I
it
know
was-
of, yeah.
Yeah, that we're aware of. I mean, they're the ones that claim to be the founders and co-founders of the project or company, whatever it may be. When Thomas or Kyle started Safemoon, and then Kyle is the one that was theoretically in control of everything, correct? He was in control of all the LP, he was in control of everything. And then all of a sudden, from the story that we've heard, is that Kyle got too big for his britches. The whole community did, the project did, and he's the one that made all these original promises about locking the LP, not being able to be touched, and all this other stuff, correct?
Mm-hmm.
Then we brought on Papa, and then Papa started controlling, from what we're told, all the LP, locking it manually, doing all this other nonsense, right? Then they brought on John. A lot of the stuff that I'm seeing, because I'm not pro John, I'm not against John, I'm kind of in the same boat as you. I've been watching you since day one, and I'm one of the ones that watch all the spaces and just sit back and listen. This is honestly my first time talking because I'm not a very good public speaker. But my whole thing is that everything we're talking about right now is between when Kyle started the project to bringing Papa on, then John came on. What my thought is a lot of this happened with Kyle and Papa before John came on, correct? I mean, a lot of the stuff that Coffee was talking about, he even said that it was prior to John. And again, I'm not pro John. I'm just trying to figure out the whole picture.
Oh, I guess maybe I missed something. I didn't get that. I thought they were brought on pretty quickly. That John was
right within the first Papa said he was brought on what, day 8?
Oh, I don't know, but you're saying that you think that it's possible that maybe some of that stuff happened before John was there.
For the most part, a lot of it, I think, my theory is that Kyle did start this as a rug pull, because if they lock the LP, how are they planning on making any kind of money or any kind of anything to advance the project? I mean, everything would have to come out of their pockets, correct?
Yeah.
If all the LP was locked, because 5% was supposed to go to the LP and then 5% was supposed to go to the holders. So if 5% is going to the holders, they won't be able to touch any of that because it's it's in all the holders' wallets, and the other 5% would be locked in LP.
Yeah.
So the project would have been essentially what we call a honeypot, right? Because all the money would be locked in the LP, and then all the money would be locked in holders. If Kyle wanted to, he could have just emptied the LP at that time. Then he brought Thomas on, which Thomas, from what he's saying, had all these other ideas after we had so many holders. You can't just dump on didn't we have hundreds of thousands of holders within the first couple weeks?
Yeah, I joined in April. I joined real late. I missed a lot of the early parts of Safemoon.
Yeah, so did I. I joined, I think the first week of April, I believe I joined. But I've been in and out of Safemoon so many times just because of financial reasons. So I'm not, I'm part of the community, but I'm not one that's going to sit there and say I'm a diehard Safemoon guy because, life happens. If I have to take my money out, I'm going to take my money out. If, I put it back in, I put it back in. But my thing, like I said, is, Papa controlled from the beginning a lot of the LP, even after John came in. So a lot of the moves that we see that were being made, wouldn't it be made by Papa?
Yeah. But Thomas's thing, I think, is he's saying that he did what John told him to do when it came to moving the LP. And Thomas was announcing it in the Discord whenever he moved it as like a great positive thing for the price and whatnot. I don't know if you were there for that or not.
Yeah, I remember all that, and like the Discord would go crazy, and everybody would get excited because we were moving LP, and I do remember all that. But then, how did John get so much power over Kyle, which was the original founder, and then Papa, who was there before John? How did John come in and have all this power? I understand it was a contract through Thanos or through Tano.
Yeah.
But how did those three were friends, were supposedly the only three that were part of Tano, and were all buddies or business partners? Like, that's the part that I'm having a hard time understanding, is how if those three came in, they're still the same. Essentially, the Tano core went from Tano to Safemoon. So how did John all of a sudden gain all this power over everybody? Like, what?
I think the story is like Thomas says that he worked for John at Tano, and they like to not say the name Tano, but people figured it out. And this, I think the story that he gave, and somebody can correct me, or I don't know if you remember, was that like John basically forced control, I think is Thomas's story, because he was his boss. Thomas said he like forced his way into Safemoon or something.
And kind of my thought is okay, he forced his way into Safemoon. How? Because, again, I'm not for John, and this is totally speculation, just way on the outskirts of things. Is what if John did see that those guys were all doing something wrong and did push his way in to, see that, hey, I could take over this project and do some good things with it, and he just used what they may have been doing fishy wise as, I don't really want to say as like blackmailing them, because that's just the total wrong word, but to kind of use leverage, like Papa said many times that John leveraged this, John leveraged that, but what leverage did he have besides, oh, I'm your boss from Tano?
Yeah, I'm not sure. It's kind of hard when Thomas talks, because it's weird, because he seems like he feels his like demeanor is like, I have nothing to hide. But then when he answers the questions, it seems to kind of beat around and not give an exact answer. It's like, how would John have control over you in Safemoon? Like, I don't know. He kind of made it sound like that was part of his agreement with Tano, but I'm not 100% sure.
Yeah, neither am I. It's just speculation on it.
Yeah. So you were just wondering, you're just wondering in case maybe John might not be associated with the bad things that happened, but before they happened or something?
Honestly, I think John is associated with all of it. I just don't know. I don't know if he got pulled into all of it. Kind of like Papa's sitting here saying, oh, Kyle gave him a bonus that obviously came from the holders. And he's like, well, if that's the case, then I'm not comfortable with it. Well, how do you not know where the money came from? You're one of the core three there, I mean.
Yeah, and you're friends with him. How would you not know something like that? Yeah, it's crazy.
Those are the things that kind of just make it all seem so fishy. And why is Papa the only one out of all three of them speaking? He's out there just running his mouth about everything. John staying quiet. Right. I think.
But another thing is, like, if Kyle took 50 trillion, you guys are of your owners of your own token, and you don't know where 50 trillion tokens came from, like that just sounds impossible. I mean, I'll have to look at that, but that just like how would you not know?
That's 7% of the total company or liquidity. How would that not be known that it got taken? Correct. I totally agree.
And like, what is the implication of that had on the price? Because when Safemoon Dev was selling after Thomas and them quit, we all were following his wallet. We saw him selling every single day. He just kept selling. And John did comment on it, and he said it's his wallet, like it's his tokens to do with as he pleases. So I mean, it's either like John's in the dark and didn't know that he got most of his tokens from the LP, or he did and he's lying about it. I mean, it's only two possible scenarios I see right there.
Or was John letting him sell to just say, hey, let him do it because he's just hanging himself?
What do you mean?
I don't know. There's so many different ways to look at all this, and there's not enough information that's actually out there to come to a complete conclusion, or a complete like theory on what exactly is going on. That's why I try to watch and pay attention to all the spaces. I don't really.
Yeah.
I mean, your channel is the only one that I go to for the honest truth, is because I mean, you got all these other YouTubers out here, Adam Bergman, you got Atlas. They're all great guys and everything like that, but they're so everybody really, even when you go to Safemoon After Dark and everybody, a lot of the guys are so one track minded on a lot of it that they don't want to see both sides of every part of all of this. And that's why I kind of go to your channel to kind of just get the whole insight on everything that's going on.
Yeah, and I'm not an expert, so I'm just looking to the community and people who are smarter than me to try to figure out what's happening, because I want to know, and a lot of people want to know, but you become an enemy of the people who don't want to know the bad stuff. You become an enemy, a fodder. They accuse you of all kinds of things. They said I sold my bag. There's just zero evidence of that. And there's reason there's zero evidence is because I haven't sold anything. I've never sold a single Safemoon.
Right, and you've said it a million times throughout many of your lives and channels, is that you still hold Safemoon. It's not a large amount, but you still hold Safemoon. So, I think it's a lot of those haters are just guys that come in and watch your one individual, not a lot of your community that's followed you throughout the whole time.
Yeah, it's a cult. They've become a cult. Sorry, go ahead. Go ahead, Andrew. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you guys off. I just got to clock in and work in a few minutes. I'm so sorry.
You're good. Go ahead.
I just had a few thoughts. Crypto Control, I love your channel, by the way, bro. Like, I want to start like your updates. To be honest, I'd rather have eyes open than eyes closed. For me personally, the way I see it is, look, John's parents are part of the CIA or were part of the CIA, meaning they know a lot of big people. Meaning he might not even get dealt with it. Why? Because the CIA or his parents are now high people in the FBI. So meaning he can have an 85% of chance to get away with a lot of things because they can cover up dirt. As we all know, the CIA can do that. So regardless if he was part of it, or if he wasn't, there's always two sides to the story. Again, I know it sucks to think that way, but for me personally, the things that I've seen in my life, the things that I've been incarcerated before, so I kind of know how, reading all the books and reading all this stuff, the backgrounds, I kind of know how the justice system works. So it's basically who you know, not what you know, can get you out of things. I know it sucks to think of that.
No, it's possible. It's not guaranteed. It's kind of like speculation. Right. We know that he has connections. We don't know how big those are, how much they're willing to get him out of trouble, how much can they get him out of trouble with something so public. But I mean, it's potential. But I don't know if we can draw any conclusions from it. But it's definitely a potential worth saying out loud. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's. Again, I have to go back to work. But you know what, Crypto Control, you keep the honesty, man. Regardless of what people say, people are always gonna hate the truth, no matter what.
Thanks a lot, man.
People, for some reason,
hope your day gets better at work, man.
Oh man, thank you. You have a good one, bro.
All right. Was there something else you wanted to say as well, 100 Billy?
No, I mean, there's plenty of topics to talk on, but yeah. I mean, if there's other people that want to talk, I don't want to take up all the time.
Well, I just wanted to give room for people to say to have a free conversation, for people to say how they feel and what it is they want to say. Especially people who disagree with me, like, hey, I'm willing to be wrong. I'm willing to hear different sides. But I think what we've consistently found is that the maxi mindset, someone said, what is maxi in the chat, is somebody who basically treats Safemoon like a religion and believes in it, and anything negative about it is immediately seen as bad and not true. So they've proven, and the team has reinforced this mindset of people to not question anything that has possible negative implications for Safemoon, even if it's coming from the team itself. Even if Ryan's talking about quitting and Thomas is talking about quitting, if the FUD, as they like to call it, I really don't like that word, is coming from the team, they're still quick to dispel it and change what they're saying to make it a positive thing.
I think a lot of the maxis, well, what used to be called the Maxis because they were so pro Safemoon, are starting to see though too with Ryan leaving and not coming across like John did, or Papa and Ginger, or all these other guys that came out that left that had a lot of negative things to say. Ryan's the only one so far that hasn't had anything negative really to say. He said he left on because of his own morals. If I remember correctly. He left because, he wanted to do things certain ways, and he kept getting told that, he knew how to run a company and he wasn't allowed to make any kind of decisions is what I took out of all of it.
Wait, what was the thing you just said? The reason he left?
About Ryan.
Oh, yeah. I messaged Ryan and he messaged me back quite a bit because I was like, hey, one thing I'm kind of worried about is the lawsuits. And he was like, oh, yeah, I don't think there's a problem there. He's like, but I don't know anything other than what you guys know, what's public knowledge. I'm like, oh, okay. So he didn't seem concerned, but he also doesn't know about it. But it is worth noting that he does have good things to say about Safemoon. There's a couple perspectives to go with that. One is that if you stay on Safemoon's good side and you are promoting another project, they're much more likely to check out your project, right? Because they're maxis. Yep. And I could take advantage of that right now. I could say, oh yeah, guys, Coffeezilla is a dumbass, and guys, check out my token because I'm looking at making my own token. But I don't do that. I'm like, you know what? I don't care if it has a negative impact on me if I make my own project because, but there's a lot more for me to gain by just only covering Safemoon. There's a lot more money. There's a lot more growth. There's a lot more people that are going to say nice things about me. And Ryan was going to Reflex Finance. Now, I don't want to accuse him of something it's just speculation. But obviously, his best interest for Reflex Finance was to maintain a good relationship with Safemoon.
Right. And in the grand scheme of things, then, if Safemoon really was going to, let's say, shit the bed and just go to zero and completely cash out and be done because of all this that's going on, why would all of these other companies continue to want to get on the swap? Why would Mandala still want to continue to, list us? Why would we still be going forward with a lot of the projects that we are if, this lawsuit and all these things that Papa's talking about, Coffeezilla is talking about are such a huge deal? I understand that we want to know where our money went because that literally is our money. And I totally agree with that. We need answers on where that's going. But in the grand scheme of things, I guess this is where I can be considered not really a maxi because I see both sides of everything. But I don't see where any of this is really going to have an impact on Safemoon going forward other than we're going to have a little bit of a smear on our name for a little bit. But, I mean, if we start coming out with all these things that they're actually say they're going to come out with, then just like everybody says, this is all going to be in the past. And then we are going to start taking off.
Yeah, and I just think it's like we keep saying, it's just we just want to know about our investment, and I don't think there's anything wrong with wanting to know if the team has been involved in stealing from us. I mean, to me, it's a huge deal, especially when Coffeezilla puts it like, "Why did you buy Safemoon?" And I go back to think, and I was a new investor. I knew nothing about crypto. I was like looking up like what is a blockchain, and I watched multiple videos just trying to understand what the heck is a blockchain. And I bought
I literally got in.
What'd you say?
I literally got in because a guy from work came up to me and said, "Hey, check this out," because I was messing around with Doge and all that. So I was a newbie as well, and I just jumped in really because of FOMO. I mean, literally. And then I've taken the last year to kind of figure out the project and find out what's going on.
Yeah, and like the reasons we bought in was exactly kind of what Caroni was talking about. It's locked. They can't rug it. I mean, for new investors, and Safemoon brought in a ton of new investors to crypto, that in their minds, they're like, this is safe, and they're not going to take from the LP. And then it went from that to like they already took from the LP to that was the guy that was part of the Tano, but somehow Thomas didn't know that, and somehow John didn't know that a member of their team took what would that be, a 20th of their a 20th of the supply of the total supply, but if probably including the burn wallet, it probably shot up to that 7% or something.
Well, and if that was the wallet, wouldn't that wallet be getting reflections as well?
I think it was. I had videos where I used to go back and go through his transactions and look at if he was excluded from the fee and if he was excluded from rewards. I'd have to go look at those videos again to see if I remember that or not.
Well, I guess, and then one of my other points is this 10 million that's missing. That 10 million in BUSD and then 10 million in BNB. If that's always been on the blockchain, so how can we not track where it went? Like, we should be able to, if it can't just be missing. If it's on the blockchain, it just can't be missing.
Yeah, there might be an answer for that. I'll have to find out. You know, you got to be real careful. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah. My thought, though, is could that be our seeding cost for going on to Mandela? I mean, we had BUSD and BNB. We had to seed, and we were just trying to figure out which one would seed correctly with their exchange. I mean, couldn't that just be a simple idea there that they wouldn't necessarily have to come out and tell us about?
I think it's good to let us know when they're taking millions of dollars that what it might be being
I don't
used
disagree
for.
on that. I'm just saying it would be one of those.
But I'm open
I mean,
to there being an answer for that. I'm not just going to assume, oh, they stole money from us. But yeah, it's definitely worth having an answer. Let's go ahead and go to Courier Surrier. How do you pronounce your name?
You pronounce it Courier Sor.
Courier Sor. Okay. How's it going, man?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Doing pretty good. How are you feeling about all this? Yeah, thanks for coming up.
Well, I'll be here all day. If I were to start from the beginning, I'll give you a quick summary of what I think this whole situation is developing into.
Yeah, I want to give you a chance to share what it is you want to say, but I'm also doing a live stream, so you got to kind of try to hit your main points pretty quickly.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Okay,
So
cool.
essentially, in a nutshell, we do remember that in the beginning, Safemoon have made it a very clear statement that Safemoon LLC and Safemoon Token are two separate projects and are two separate entities. And with that in mind, I'll pose a question to you and the audience. Do you think it's fair for Safemoon LLC to take funds from Safemoon Token's liquidity in order to build up a company that is not connected to Safemoon Token? Meaning, if Safemoon LLC becomes very successful and it's becoming a global company, Safemoon holders or Safemoon token holders that have essentially invested into the company will see no rewards or no bonus or no sort of incentive as a result. So, how do you see this? I feel like it's a
I think
a
that
travesty at best.
it depends on.
Why not tell us?
What'd you say, Hillbilly or Billy? I'm sorry.
Why not tell us about it at least? I mean, I agree. They have to be able to pay for all that somehow. But I mean, the whole point of all this is that all their expenses, all these millions of dollars have been put away in the dark. We don't know where any of it went. And as investors, we should have some sort of an idea. You don't have to tell us where every single penny went. But like Crypto said to me earlier, I mean, if it's millions of dollars, we should have some sort of idea, or at least, I mean, even in the centralized markets or just regular stocks, stockholders get told, I don't know if it's annually, or whatever, on what the company's doing with the money and what their expenditures and stuff are and what's even coming out in the next year. So I agree that, yeah, the LLC could take money from the LP because the LP is not locked, and we now know that, and we now know that they're using the LP, but the big problem here is they don't tell us anything on where the money's going.
I think you're saying that, like, if the LLC succeeds, it's not going to benefit the holders. Is that what you were saying?
Exactly. That's my point, and that's my main.
Well, I think that many of the things they're making do, in a small way, benefit the holders, like the exchange, and they tried to do the wind turbines. I don't know if that's on or off or what, but that's supposed to burn tokens. So it all is designed as being part of the ecosystem where a percentage of it is going back towards liquidity or burning tokens. But as far as what would you say to that, Courier, sir?
I mean, it's a fair point. My only reservation would be that if they are making such withdrawals from the LP and they're funding, whether it's they're hiring new staff or they're expanding the business. Again, my critical reservation in this situation is that the two entities are not connected. One is a LLC Safemoon LLC, and the other is a
Important
Safemoon
to have.
token project.
I mean,
And
it just
I'm struggling to see how directly is there going to be a direct correlation. As far as we know, there isn't a direct correlation between Safemoon LLC and Safemoon token. This may change in the future, but at the moment, there is a strong possibility that Safemoon holders might lose out on in this relationship, I guess, in the long term. So
I
just bear that
think
in
these
mind.
lawsuits. I think these lawsuits are about to have a bigger impact on what information we have than we think. Like Thomas is saying, basically that they're going to sue John, and Thomas made it sound like, and not saying everything he says is 100% proof, but he made it sound like John was going after the team. Like that's, if you go listen to Thomas in that entire 2 hour, and there's so much in there that it's worth listening to again and writing stuff down. That he talked about like how the reason that Thomas started to not believe in Safemoon was because of John, and because John was attacking his friends and going after his friends, and that him and Kyle had some kind of disagreement, and he kicked Kyle out of the Discord, and he kicked Kyle out of everything, and then Thomas said that's when Kyle gave up on Safemoon. So I think
How does that?
I think that with these lawsuits, if these lawsuits happen, a lot of stuff is going to be public, and a lot of information is going to start coming out. And someone told me that it was on the 10th and the 9th or the 10th, which is another interesting theory, because the Mandala listing is pushed out to the 10th, and the apparently the lawsuits or something start on the 9th. And somebody was like, well, what if they push that a day later just to make sure that, you know, nothing crazy comes out so they can decide for themselves. That's just a theory. That could be just totally weird timing. But I think that that's going to be a big revealer. Plus there's a lot of people looking into what kind of money he's been spending. How much is his house worth? I had also heard that same rumor that it was, you know, $8 million. That could just be a rumor. He could just have, you know, $100,000 house or $1 million house. I don't know. But people are looking into stuff all over the place, and I am hearing information. Another interesting thing is that his family is kind of turning on him as well. What appears to be Charles Caroni. Not only was he the one that leaked the conversation that proved that John and the team was lying to us about them quitting, because it said Hank and Jack left for personal reasons. Thomas was separate, and he said they all quit before they quit. And they were basically saying like, nope, that's not true, and they hid that. And now Charles left, and he said he was going for school, and he immediately joins the Barra Holly group, Barra Jolly, whatever, which also John's uncle is a part of. And John's uncle keeps posting memes of the Phoenix like burning up and dying, and he's taking shots at Safemoon, which his mom is in charge of that. John's mom is in charge of that entire corporation, and they're not firing him or getting rid of him. So there definitely seems to be a whole story going on behind the scenes that I think is going to come out with these lawsuits. And it's not painting John exactly as everybody's seeing him. And everybody, all the maxis assume that just John's a saint behind the scenes. And he might be, but we just can't assume that. And you have all these people on the team coming out and saying things against John, and it's hard to know. Because it could just be that all these people don't like John and say that he's a bad boss and that he's an asshole, and that he's actually just a good boss and they just don't like him because of the way he does things. But it's also just as likely that maybe he is, power hungry and not doing maybe what's best for Safemoon. And to me, the huge thing is like, how did John not know about the 50 trillion? How did John not know the wallet wasn't ready when they had a countdown? I had a 46,000 view live stream that did the countdown for the Safemoon wallet. People probably bought a lot of money. How did we not know our exchange and blockchain wasn't coming out? Well, it's just insane. And the amount of money that people spend on that positive confirmation of what's coming and the positive speculation of owls. How much money do people spend because owls? And that was just a couple birds having sex in a tree. And I don't even know what owls sound like doing that, but I have to ask Thomas that the next time I talk to him. But I do think that we're probably going to be getting some big answers within the coming weeks.
Absolutely, and absolutely. First of all, I agree with everything you said so far. I mean, John has a lot of things on his plate, and I feel like now is the time to sort of get to it and see whether he's a good actor or a bad actor. If he's a bad actor and he's not sort of acting in a in the benefit of Safemoon community or Safemoon, then someone needs to make a call and at the end of the day get rid of, the bad actors within the company. And a lot of the time, toxicity starts at the top and it leaks down. So if we have concrete evidence that's to suggest that John is a bad actor, he needs to be removed from the company. I mean, I don't know when it's going to happen. If it's going to happen, probably it will not happen, as John seems to have, a lot of control of the company and a lot of say in the company. So we will have to see. But I mean, again, main bit of takeaway is that liquidity is missing, and there are a lot of unturned stones and a lot of sort of blind alleys that we haven't or don't really want to go into, because I feel like it's maybe Coffeezilla has opened a box of worms, or it's just going to lead to another thing and another thing. And this thing could lead on for a couple of months. We could be here well into October or well into still speaking of either litigations or further action or suit. I mean, it's a mess right now.
Well, the thing is, like, what's so interesting to Safemoon, because I'm thinking of making my own token. I'm not doing this for self-promotion, but the entire reason of what I'm thinking about is, like, I don't like what I saw with Safemoon. I don't like whales having that much dominance over the power, over the price to keep it down while we're all buying dips. I don't like whales getting, and Reflections, what seemed like an amazing idea, became this even bigger factor of dominance for whales, because they not only did they have a huge position, but it's because they had a huge position, they were rewarded the most, and they're able to keep selling that on us. And it actually created this problem. And you started running into all these problems with swap and liquefy and the whale dominance and, the team leaving and all this stuff. But it's like, why was Safemoon created? Was it like a group of people sat down? And I actually believe this at one point. I believe they sat down and said, this is what needs to change in DeFi. And they created Safemoon. It was like, no, it was like Kyle, who worked and was friends with Thomas and John, which is just weird. Like, to be a friend with somebody and not know that they're doing all these huge things to your own project. Created Safemoon as a rug pull from the B token, and there's a stupid design, 5% LP and 5% reflections. There was nothing to pay the team with, and I think it blew up bigger than he thought, and he realized, I think they tried to make something out of it, but they didn't have a way to pay themselves, so they tried to get around it through Kyle taking from the LP, who wasn't on the team anymore and wasn't doxxed, wasn't supposed to be, Kyle Nagy, and then they also had tried to use their Bitmart, so their exchange listings, they said they were going to be case by case as far as the tokenomics go, whether there was no tokenomics or whether they took a certain percentage. But then they were able to use that to make money. And all they had to do to save themselves was say, hey guys, we didn't have a way to pay ourselves, so we're going to give ourselves this percentage of the volume of this exchange listing. That's all they had to say. But they didn't do that. They said that 2.5% of the 5% that was supposed to go to our LP might be used for development costs, but hasn't been touched yet. So if they used any of that beyond that, they said they would let us know. And they haven't told us. We don't know what they used it on. We don't know how much. It is connected to the Gabe wallet. It is connected to the 666 wallet. The NFT proves it. And right now, people are just figuring out the numbers and trying to figure out, okay, did John happen to make a ton of money around that time and that has a wallet that's also connected to the Bitmart wallet, and he didn't actually take from Bitmart, but he happened to be making a ton of money on the side with different investments? Or did he just take money that was from the Bitmart LP that was supposed to go to us, which would have a big impact on the price, and while promoting Wallet, the exchange, Project Phoenix, projects that weren't coming out that people are buying on, while talking about owls that people were buying on. I mean, the picture starts to paint a really bad picture for John. But I think that there's not seriously conclusive evidence yet that has come out as far as how much money went from what was supposed to go to the LP into John's wallet and then off ramped into centralized exchanges that went into bank accounts. And even if you got to that point, we'd still have to know, okay, did he use it for development or not? So it's a pretty rough thing with the blockchain. All you have is wallets. Do you guys have anything you wanted to say to that, or? So I actually, my plan was just to watch the this thing with you guys, and there, like I said, there's so much good information in there that I kind of want to go back and take notes to try to start to put together this picture. Although, if, like Papa said, everything's going to come out in the lawsuits and that he's going to be able to speak his mind, which Papa said he wasn't paid hush money, but he makes it sound like he's not allowed to talk about it or John's going to come after them. And that seems to be the reoccurring theme, is you guys can't say nothing or I'm going to come after you. And that's why during this interview, Coffeezilla is like, why is everybody afraid of John? I'm trying to give John the benefit of the doubt, but what picture that's being painted is leaving a lot of questions for John that just need to be answered. Let me read from comments a little bit. Bro, ETH, BNB all have gas fees, so Safemoon 10% is relevant, especially when Safemoon gets its own blockchain. True leadership is hard to curb, especially when developers want their pockets full of success. John Caroni could have ran off with everyone's bags already before Times Square. So that's another thing I'd like to talk about. Thank you for bringing that up. Why didn't they just like rug the whole thing? I think it's like you could just do the whole thing and be known as a scammer, or you could just, take a small amount behind the scenes and hope that you can get away with it. And you might have even told yourself like, it's not a big deal. Projects make this kind of money anyways. But you jumped into a project that didn't have funding for the team. Like, how are they supposed to pay themselves on this big and this successful of a project? People would normally make millions of dollars naturally. They just, because it was set up as a rug, they didn't have a way to pay themselves, as far as what I'm seeing. I feel the UI dev was fired because he found out stuff. The UI dev? You're talking about Fox? Why wasn't Piggy brought up? Piggy was, so you had the Safemoon team, and it was, basically Hank, Thomas, Jack, and John. Well, Hank and Thomas wanted decentralization. We've heard leaked audio, and I've talked to Hank and Thomas, and they both were like, yeah, we wanted decentralization. Everything that crypto is about is what we wanted to do. John wanted it to be centralized, and John had control of the project. So there was a big disagreement there. And they created Piggy to try to be what they wanted Safemoon to be. And that I think that just ended up being either just a pump and dump or a rug pull or just a bad project. Safemoon was birthed from a dead scam. Okay, they had to have had trillions of tokens from the pre-sale. Controlled the sale. They made money from many wallets. If you looked at the early list of whales, there were many wallets from the same money. That was one thing I heard about. Who was I talking to? Is what it appeared to be was that Kyle Nagy, Safemoon dev, or no, it was Ben Phillips. I'm sorry, I get them mixed up sometimes. I think Ben Phillips, with his scam, that Stonks token that he told people about, the one that I believe John's wallet spent $150,000 on and it lost it all, which might have been from Bitmart. He would make huge buys and then he'd separate his bag into a bunch of smaller bags to look like it's a bunch of different whales and not just one. So that's definitely something that, to keep an eye out for. He sent his brother, who is 3 meters tall, and beat the crap out of them till they gave him the contract. Yeah, that's probably what happened, Nero. Don't we all remember the AT&T penny scam back in the 90s? No, I don't remember that. I was a kid. They had to have had... Okay, I already read that. So yeah, guys, I just want to do this stream today. I'm going to keep doing these as more information comes out. We'll be looking at the lawsuits. We'll be looking at any new information that gets released. And we'll also be looking at the wallets. We're going to try to follow the wallets to like prove it for ourselves and not just like, oh, we're trusting a source that we heard it, to go look at the wallets to prove that Kyle took out 50 trillion, to prove that John's wallet is the 666 wallet and the Gabe wallet through his Instagram and through his South by Southwest NFT. And the reason all this is being done is for the truth. It's not for Safemoon to succeed or fail. Like, just prioritize what is real over everything else. and you make a lot of enemies when you do that. I don't really care, who cares if people hate me and unsubscribe and don't like me and consider me an enemy of Safemoon because I want to know what's actually going on with their investment. It's actually really stupid because it's like if they did this, they took the money from you guys, and we're trying to find out if they did or not, and you're defending them. So if they were guilty, you're defending the people that stole from you while attacking the people that are trying to let you know they stole, or just trying to find out if they stole. It's crazy to me. So yeah, that's probably it, guys. Unless there's anybody else that wanted to say anything. Okay, we do have Reaper. Hey, what's up, Reaper?
Hey, Crypto, how are you?
Pretty good, just chilling.
It's up. I mean, out of all the things that's been going on, the things that surprised me the most is the fact that, like, you are one of the first people who's like, hey, yo, John needs to come up and, like, address this, right? And the fact that we have a whole people from the community is like, hey, he doesn't need to address this. He's a CEO. CEO doesn't need to talk about this. I was like, the whole point of when Safemoon first came out was like the transparency, how often they had AMAs, how often they addressed the FUD. Like, and more time passes, like the less and less they do that at all. And I'm just surprised that the community has done that. Another thing too is like, I know that people may shut down and say like, hey, all the things that they were talking about, like, the OT members and like, their information is not valid because of what they think about the company now. But people got to remember, like, criminal cases, people get prosecuted based upon like, people snitching from an organization that were pretty much doing the same thing. We're doing illegal activities. So no, even if they were engaging in these illegal activities, it doesn't make that their statements are invalid. Like, some of their statements might be invalid, but they might also be talking facts as well. Like, you just can't throw away people's statements as invalid just because you just believe in Safemoon and trying to be a maxi.
Yeah, no, you're making a great point, and it's funny because like what we're talking about is like really like logical and obvious. It feels like we're trying to explain it to somebody who's so lost in a delusion that it makes a lot of sense, especially against everything that they're saying. But it's not like it's that hard. Like, clearly we should be listening to him to see if he's on the team. He should have inside knowledge of what was going on. And even if you don't trust him, there's still the opportunity for him to misspeak or to hear anything he said to give you a picture of what was going on behind the scenes. That's what cops do. That's what detectives do. And the fact that people don't want the flow of information just shows they have something to hide. And the reason they have something to hide is because it's become a cult. I mean, you've seen what was it like that one cult did where they convinced everybody to kill themselves. I mean, cults can get real crazy. And when you add like, what the Bible would say is like the root of all evil is the love of money, the love of gain is if that's fueling your cult, which it is, fueling Safemoon. Everybody, that's why I said this before. I'm like, if you guys were like about like saving children or the homeless, I'd probably be a lot more willing to get behind you. But you guys are just about having Lambos one day and like having a bunch of money. So it's not like this huge thing to get behind John to support. He's not Christ. He's not Jesus. He's just a man. And the reason we're all supporting him is because we all hope to be rich one day. And that's important because that's the root of why you guys are attacking other people who are only looking at the information regarding Safemoon. So yeah, I appreciate your comments, man. Is there anything else you wanted to say?
Yeah, and I mean, and that's another thing too, is like we have community members, right, who are attacking like a lot of the YouTubers, or actually probably almost all the YouTubers at this point, which pretty much eliminating like the people who are the people who are supporting in the public eyes Safemoon, right? These are the people who publicly go on YouTube and you could search them up and watch the YouTube channel. Like, we have people in the community just like blatantly attack them because they might support another project or they don't like them personally. I don't. But
that's a
in
great
my
point.
eyes,
And I kind of want to comment on that because you remind me of something. Like the egos that people get, like whether you're a YouTuber or you have some followers on Twitter, which is not hard to get, to be honest. I don't even try to get followers on Twitter, and I've got like 4,000, and other people have 10,000, and they think they're just like a god in the Safemoon community, and their egos are so big that they think they have such a big role, and that can also play a role in your delusion on the team and within the community. If you start to think you're a big shot in the space compared to other human beings in the world, yeah, you're gonna have another layer of delusion in your perception.
Yep, absolutely. And out of all the speculations, yeah, I understand why people have their maybe the way they feel about what Papa's saying to Coffeezilla, but there has to be some truth in there, regardless of how many things he's bullshitting about in there as well.
Yeah, exactly. It's not like he could just sit there and just make up random story after random story that don't connect at all. He'd very quickly start contradicting himself, which I think he did. I think he tries to come out as if he has nothing to hide, and then you can tell that he probably isn't fully telling the truth on him and Kyle and knowing what was taken from the LP. I mean, it's just, if he didn't know that, then how did we ever call him a wizard? If you don't know that 50 trillion tokens of your own project were taken and used to pay you with, you do not deserve to be called a wizard. Like, that's crazy.
100%. And I forgot who was mentioning it, and they were talking to Coffeezilla that was part of the team. I think the person that was doing who did the website,
Fox.
I think it was Fox. Yeah, he was saying about how they actually that he was trying to purchase a home and not tell Caroni that everybody could go there, and it was like crazy amount of land, and he actually sent the thing to Coffeezilla, like the link of where the house is located. And this is Papa. So to me, like, to be ignorant and be like, oh, that he had nothing to do with it, absolutely. Come on, you got to stop it. It's speculating, but it's also saying like, hey, to say you're a crypto wizard, and then all of a sudden have all this money disappear right in front of, like, knowingly, like, kind of right in front of your eyes, and then not say anything, and you say, oh, I don't know about it. It's come on, stop it.
So I just want to read some comments for a second. Sharing in the comments says, Sharing, you're welcome to click that link and come up on stage. That's another thing I've found is with these people, not only do they attack you, but they also run from discussions. And another thing I want to say is, like, I don't think less of you guys. I just think you're in a delusion. That's all. Like, I don't think you're a worse person than me. I don't think you're evil. I just think you're you are blind. Not because your brain is stupid, but because your desire for wealth is greater than your desire for truth. Okay, so Sharing says, to all the fudders thinking to get an ounce of satisfaction in fudding Safemoon, you will be the clowns being laughed at. There are still people calling Bitcoin a Ponzi and a scam. So yeah, I'd like to say something about that. Everybody wants to compare themselves to the successful projects. Nobody ever compares themselves to the ones that don't succeed, especially when 90% of things don't succeed. Most companies don't succeed. But we compare ourselves to Tesla and Bitcoin, the most successful ones. Now, the Safemoon could take off one day, but here's the difference is that I don't want you to buy or sell. I just want you to decide for yourself. You tell other people to buy the dip. You try to control other people's perception. And that's the problem, is I'm not trying to control anyone's perception. I say, if you don't believe in Safemoon, that's fine. Like, let people be people and don't judge them as your enemies. But the maxis, they want you to believe in it. And if you don't, they judge you as an enemy and they condemn you. So it's this really weird space of being attacked for trying to basically do what's right. Did you have something you wanted to say, Billy? Was that you talking, or was that someone else? Well, I appreciate you guys coming up. Yeah, I wasn't going to go on too much longer. I live in Oklahoma, and we got all these storms. I'm sure you guys go. We got these tornadoes. We got, like, tornado potential for, like, the next week. It's always fun because, like, I don't have a basement. I don't have a basement. I don't have a storm shelter. So it's just like, well, I hope we don't get hit. And we got hit by a tornado within the year. Yeah, around a year ago, we got hit by a tornado. It spawned right on top of us and hit us, but luckily it was only an F0, but it still did a lot of damage to really big trees and the house and everything. So it's fun. You just got to be ready to die.
I hope nothing happens to you, man, and best of luck with, I know you're going to talk to Chris Harris tonight, right?
Yeah, I'm going on his thing. I don't know how that's going to go. Somehow me and him have managed to been cool with each other while he's not getting along with YouTubers and while he's not getting along with Mark. But I'm just one of those people where it's like, if you can be cool with me, I'll be cool with you. I don't know how much longer that's going to last, because he posted a post last night, and all I said was, he's like, from what I got from his post was, you're either a believer or you're not, or you either stand for something or you don't. And I was like, okay, that doesn't really make sense in my mind. And that's all I said was, like, I think the only thing you should stand for is truth. And I said, I think you would agree. So I'm like admitting that, hey, I think you would agree that the only thing we should stand for is truth. And then he took that as me saying that they lied on his show. And it's like, whatever, I don't deal with your bullshit. And I'm like, dude, like, you're completely misunderstanding it's in there. It says, I think you would agree, but you think I'm attacking you. And the reason I say that is because it's not like, oh, you have to sell or buy. You have to be a fudder or a maxi. It's like, it's okay for people to believe whatever they want. It's okay for people to be like, yeah, I hold my Safemoon, but I'm a little worried about the lawsuits and I want to see what comes out and I might decide to sell. If you go look at all the sells on the charts, people found out when Hank and Jack left that was for them, that was like, hell no, I'm out, I'm selling. And people deserve to have the information about their investments. If you're trying to suppress good or bad information from people, like, you're a liar, you're dishonest. And what we see more than most at the time is people trying to suppress bad information about investment because they want their investment to do well and because their dreams are riding on it. So yeah, I forget where I was going with that.
No, but I get what you're saying though. It's like, and he's, like I said, he's also been kind of going after other YouTubers yesterday too, besides just you. And I was like, I think I wrote on one of his messages like, hey, like, I think you're hitting the wrong bark of the tree. Especially like Safemoon Joe and Crypto Atlas, like, those guys have been supporting. And he actually like directed like a tweet on them, and I was like, hey, you're barking up the wrong tree. Like, those guys have supported Safemoon and almost has practically never flooded Safemoon. Like, virtually none. They've just been supportive of Safemoon, even with Crypto Atlas, when the rest of the rest of his friends kind of was backed away from Safemoon. He stood, and to attack him when he's actually being supportive of Safemoon is crazy.
Yeah, and that's another thing we see is that is people are willing to speculate that the owls might be linked to mesh networks and Elon Musk, and that the exchange is going to be insane, and that the CIA connections, and they're willing to speculate on all those things. But if you speculate that John might have left his zipper down, like, it's game over. You can't speculate on anything negative. But as investors, that's just stupid. Of course, you have to say, what if this goes up? What if this goes down? What could cause this to go up? And what could cause this to go down? It's the most basic thought you would have with an investment. And they just
100%.
cut. Yeah. So, was somebody else trying to say something, or was that just you, Reaper?
No, that wasn't me.
Okay. All right, guys. Well, I'm probably gonna. I appreciate you guys coming up. If you guys want to say something else, you can. Yeah, thanks for coming up, Reaper and Corey, sir, and Billy. I appreciate you guys.
Man, have a good one, man.
Having us.
Yeah, you too.
Thank you.
Thanks for coming up. I probably gonna wrap this up, and like I said, I'll be covering everything, guys. Whether it leads to a good thing for Safemoon or a bad thing for Safemoon, I will. I'm also willing to be wrong. I too have an ego. I too think I'm right and might be wrong. You know what I mean? I'm trying to be as open as I can to that. Safemoon Joe is an effing clown. Okay. Triggered much. Sharing, please come up on stage. Please show me your balls. You want to say stuff in the chat? Let's see it. Show me those cojones, and let's join. Click the little link at the top. It says Discord, and then verify yourself. Go to roles and click on the rocket, and then raise your hand, and let's see who's triggered. Because from my experience, people just don't have balls. They like to hide behind a wall and throw rocks, but as soon as you walk their way, they run away. You know what I mean? Come on, Sharing. This is your opportunity. I'll let you speak. I'm willing to hear you out. Are you gonna run? Are you gonna hide? What are you gonna do? I'll tune in and watch you be wrong, but I love the stream. Thank you, Tyler. I appreciate that. It's fairly clear that all the YouTubers and Discord members feel as if they deserve the same information as being on an executive board of a company or project. No, like, what we're talking about is the freedom to look for information without being condemned by your fellow investors. Good job being honest. Everyone hides behind the screen. You're just being 100% nothing. And your team deserves... Nah, I'm just here enjoying my barbecue. Okay. Okay. So you're not willing to have a conversation. Big surprise there. Yeah, keyboard warrior. That's okay. Most people, they like to throw all kinds of like accusations and attacks your way, and then they just back down from a conversation. And I don't hate you sharing. I think that you've bought into an idea that's controlling your mind, and that if you just be honest with yourself, you could look at it a little differently. And I hope you have a good barbecue, man. Hope you're having a good day. No, guys, don't insult him. I mean, I'm okay with calling out like the cowardice to attack somebody and not have a debate. Like, yes, that's cowardly, but I don't want to start personally attacking his barbecue. He might be having some good like wings or something, guys. Come on. All right, guys, you guys are awesome. I will definitely come out with another video or another stream soon, and hopefully we get some more information. Thanks for watching, you guys. You guys have a great day, and I will be in Chris Harris's space tonight. We'll see how that goes. You guys have a great day.